You're up and it's still dark. Kick back with a cup of joe. You know you've got friends waiting on 1620 The Zone. It's Happer and Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Listen on the radio stream or YouTube or podcasts. Anytime it feels right. It's Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer.
Good morning and welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's Happer and Schaefer, just as the song suggests, here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Colbert with you on this Tuesday morning. We still have more live sporting events going on right now with the World Baseball Classic. Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing well.
Not too bad.
Good.
Doing well.
Good.
Joey's sporting his Matt McMaster gifted sweater, hockey sweater.
Is that true? Did Matt give that to you?
Yeah, he gave this to me last week.
Wow.
Or no, 2 weeks ago.
Now,
It still has the McMaster stench, by the way.
I can't help but notice that you two have a bit of a rivalry that has been brewing / fully cooked now for a while. Did you thank him? Did you say?
Yeah, I thank him. He didn't have to do it.
But then you can't stop saying it smells like him. So it's kind of like a backhand compliment.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Have you done anything in return for Matt?
I mean, the Bears beat the Packers in the postseason.
That is true. What a great gift.
That's a gift for Matt.
What an excellent
Could
gift.
feel
Matt
good
was-
about his team.
Matt was upset with Joey during one of the in-betweens of the crossover because he had gifted Joey this sweater.
Yes.
And Joey had made comments about the Hammond Bears that Matt found offensive.
Yeah.
So
Matt finds just about everything about the Bears to be offensive.
Calling the Bears entitled for asking for like a first-round pick
that's
for losing
basically
their
what
center.
it was, yeah.
Nothing goes 0 to 100 faster than when Joey specifically
Yeah, it
talks
is
about
really
the
Joey.
Bears around Matt. For
Like,
whatever reason, Joey really works. It gets under his skin.
if you say something, there might be a little bit. If I say something, maybe a little less of a reaction than even you. If Joey says something, it is like gloves off. He's ready to pull that sweater over Joey's head, and start throwing punches.
Well, I mean, you're the Vikings fan. I'm the Packers fan.
Yeah, no,
and
there's that, but
I'm
I
just
think
a
it's
troll.
just in general. Like I think if he came in and said it was up and you said it was down, he'd be ready.
I think my way of trolling is just very casual. It's just it doesn't happen right away. It's just a gradual.
I don't know, Joey.
You're
pretty overt about it sometimes, which
I
I
wouldn't
support.
say it's subtle.
Yeah, I support your overt trolling.
Yeah, I want it to continue.
Yeah, I'm
be
good
clear.
with it. Now,
I'm not looking for any changes.
Matthew writes in on YouTube. He says, "Is McMaster gifting his way into others' hearts? Maybe he's trying to. I don't think it worked on Joey.
He did buy Joey lunch at one point. Remember
that is
All-Star
true.
lunch?
All-Star lunch. Where Matt was like, check it out. It's me and all these other people. We are all stars.
Yeah. And then he included himself in the photo.
And then you shamed him into deleting the tweet.
I did not shame him into deleting
You
the
shamed
tweet.
him, and then he deleted the tweet.
It was not an intended thing that he would delete the tweet.
He did it, though.
I just simply pointed out he didn't smile, and then I wondered if he was referring to himself as an all-star.
I know. And then that was
apparently these are questions that led to the deletion of that.
That was enough to send him over the edge. One thing that we have learned, maybe there's a quick temper there. So welcome to a Tuesday show, everybody. We are in the thick of it as far as conference tournaments are going. The Big Ten tournament literally starts today.
Yeah, look
Could
at
you
that.
imagine the super mega bye? The super mega.
I'm locking in for Northwestern and Penn State.
Now these games are on Peacock. Yes.
Yeah, like the
I'm
first
locking in so much I couldn't answer that question.
I'm almost sure they're
first
on
two
Peacock.
full days. first 2 full days is on Peacock, and then the third day, I think half of the games are the first 2 games on the third day is on Peacock.
I
followed
know
by
it's not.
BTN.
Yo, Schaefer, I'm a little concerned about Nick Stauskas. I haven't seen him in weeks.
Yeah, I
Is
think
he not on
I think
the
Bigelow
announcing report?
bodied him up as a what stretch 4.
Nebraska may have erased him from broadcast.
Yeah, Robbie Hummel was with Paul Burmeister for the doubleheader today.
Yes. Did you hear that our dear friend Don McLean is going to be involved in BTN?
Yeah,
I heard it, and then I saw HHC tweet at you yesterday
Yeah,
with lyrics,
just lyrics.
and I was like, you know what? That's an easy like for me on social
I
media.
know what's going on here. Seth
I didn't even
Davis.
have to like. I saw 2 lyrics, and I was like, all right, I know what this is in reference to. That's pretty easy.
Seth Davis is also joining the BTN
good.
crew, so he'll have some great takes, I'm sure, about the state of college basketball. Yeah, so there you go. We'll have Big Ten basketball tournament games tonight. Now coming up tonight. Let's see. How many more bids do we have this evening?
There's
I
only
think-
2 from yesterday.
I think West Coast is tonight because they played the semifinals
they did.
yesterday.
I
It's
believe-
Santa Clara and
Ooh,
Gonzaga.
Santa Clara.
I
won.
believe that is right. So I think there's only 1 or 2 more bids to leave out tonight, and there was 2 yesterday. So I'm not sure if that is enough of a pull for me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch, because I know the Patriot League final is tomorrow. Why do I know the Patriot League final is tomorrow? Because I was really intrigued in the fact that Boston beat Navy on that last second shot, and then I realized that their championship game wasn't until Wednesday. So I don't think that's enough. I might have to watch this crap Northwestern Penn State situation tonight.
There's I'm seeing 3 finals.
Yeah, there's
here.
a coastal
Give it
between
to me.
Monmouth and
4
Hofstra.
finals, 5 finals.
5 finals tonight.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. I am not watching Penn State Northwestern.
Do you want some of these finals?
Yes.
All right. So the first one that I could find here starts at 6:00. CBS Sports Network. Monmouth Hofstra. Wow. The CAA Championship.
Okay.
Oh, no, what is that?
The CAA, the Colonial
It's
Athletic
coastal.
Conference.
It's
I only
think
know
it's
it as a
coastal.
creative arts agency where everyone is.
I think
you
it's
know.
coastal. I think it's the coastal conference.
Okay.
All right. So we have that. So that one is happening at 6:00. Also tipping at 6 and on ESPN2, a university I've never heard of, or college, I guess I've never heard of. Mercyhurst is taking on Long Island University,
Oh,
which
the
I have
Sharks,
heard of.
Which Long Island's already clinched the
Oh.
March. They got the automatic bid because Mercyhurst, I think, is in their
Is transition.
Yeah, they're in the transition year.
No.
Look at that.
They're St. Thomasing it from last year. That's sad.
Also at 6 p.m. on ESPN, and usually one of the better conference tournaments to just sort of clue in on. Detroit Mercy taking on Wright State in the Horizon.
The Barbasol Horizon League
I
Championship.
looked at that and I was like, don't say Barstool.
No.
Don't say Barstool.
It does look like Barstool, but it's Barbasol.
Speaking of, there's no other segment in which this needs to come up, and it doesn't even really need to come up on air, but here we are.
We're just riffing.
Yesterday was, killing time on Instagram for a little bit, and a game pops up where these 3 guys are trying to determine if a team has a better player than Jose Ramirez. So I am like very interested in what this is. I get like 30 seconds in and I realize it's our friends from the morning on Barstool.
Oh, it's T
Wake up,
Bob and Big T and
It's Big T, this nerdy guy in the middle who kept screwing up the game and getting yelled at by Big T, who was talking.
wow.
Yeah, Big T was talking a
So
lot.
not the AJ.
And
Hawk.
then is it Brandon Walker or
yes, Joey knows about him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Brandon Walker, the
who
Mississippi State
seemed
guy.
like he was drunk the entire time, which is quite possible.
He always seems that
He
way.
is from
Oh,
the South. I
It might
think.
just be his style.
Yeah, he's from the
But-
South.
It was fascinating listening to them debate this player versus Jose Ramirez, and then not entirely being sure if they know what makes Jose Ramirez like particularly good.
nice.
So that was just enjoyable to me.
Elsewhere tonight, we have Santa Clara and Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference Final.
Correct.
We have Siena and Merrimack in the MAC Conference Championship. And we have, that's it. those are so we do have some tickets to punch this.
Some
evening.
first rounds in the Big 12, a bunch of semifinals. There's just good basketball.
Now, people are going to be watching the Long Island University. This is on ESPN2 tonight. Have you seen the latest drama with Long Island University?
No, I haven't.
All right, so I guess now I keep in mind I only saw this. I'm only putting pieces together on the internet, so I'm coming from this from a place of lack of knowledge. But I know that Long Island University has gained some internet popularity over the last couple of years because like their gym is they can fit like 40 people in their gym basically, and they've been horrible, but they've had this kind of turnaround. And there's apparently like 6 dudes who go to the Long Island basketball games and they're just super into everything. And so when they go up to shoot free throws, they do the shark fins. Now, that sort of went viral like over the last week or so. And then all of a sudden, Nebraska goes to play Iowa on Sunday, and the entire student section is doing shark fins as they go to shoot free throws.
Dave Portnoy was going off on Husker fan base over that. I knew for sure.
So people were claiming stolen valor of Long Island University. That is what I know.
Incredible.
About the
Maybe they can match up in a 3 versus 14 and then determine.
If Long Island is a 14, it'd be a nice.
It would mean there's a lot of bid.
It'd be a nice
bids
draw
going to not top teams in their smaller conferences.
It'd be a nice draw for a 3. That's for sure. So just keep an eye on that. Long Island and Nebraska, I believe, have matched up a couple times in the NCAA volleyball tournament.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Including this most recent year. So maybe there's a bridge to be crossed between those two. If Matt McMaster and Joey Colbert can be civilized and get along, then maybe Long Island University and Nebraska can. Maybe there's hope for all of us.
Maybe
there's hope for humanity.
Fins up, they were saying. I'd never seen the Nebraska student section do that before. I kind of thought they were a Jazz Fingers student section.
Like for a long time have been a Jazz Fingers school. But that's kind of all they are.
Go to shoot the free throw.
Or they'll have the big head
and
just sort of sway to one side or another.
I do. If one thing, like, so I appreciate the ability to like be organic in those things, and it's hard to. There's only so many things that haven't been done ever or whatever. But what Nebraska has done as far as the personality of how they present their basketball games in the arena has been really hilarious to watch. The memes and the stuff that they did on Saturday with showing Iowa fans and then like superimposing like the texts on there. That was fantastic. That was great. Keep doing more and more and more of that. It gives your basketball program a personality. It gives your basketball program a character.
Keeps it fun.
It keeps it fun.
I think there's part of it is there's only so many teams where it kind of works to be able to do that specifically, but
do dumb stuff. I think it's great. Everybody else is always trying too hard at that stuff to look the coolest, to beat and do the newest, most innovative things. Like just go with the personality of what your team is.
They've been big on the lookalike thing this past year.
Yes,
like very big. They've been doing a very good job with it.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's really, really good stuff. Now, great point here from Matthew on YouTube. He says maybe they, Long Island, were trying to create corn cobs with their hands/arms, and it just looks like fins up, shark fins. So maybe their seemingly original idea, which applies directly to their mascot, was actually Nebraska related.
Incredible.
It could be. Maybe they live rent free in each other's heads. It is possible. All right. So we mentioned this yesterday. We never really got to the segment, but we'll do it later on in the hour here. We'll explain the potential for dirty bid stealers this weekend, even though we don't have a local team on the bubble who really has to be concerned about any of this stuff. We'll explain it a little bit and then look ahead to the next couple days.
Creighton could be a dirty bid stealer.
Creighton indeed could be a dirty bid stealer.
That would be quite funny, actually.
I would enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
I would enjoy it thoroughly. That'd be very fun.
I am sure you would.
So we'll explain that in a little bit here. Our guests today, Mitch Sherman and Jacob Padilla. Mitch Sherman from The Athletic and Jacob Padilla coming up at 9:15. Mitch at 8:30 today. Though that is our lineup. Feel free to hit us up, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at @HappenSchafe, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. That's right. The Zone Twitter feed is powered by Liquid Trucking. Email Connor, Mike, Joey, 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers. Matthew writes in, who's more likely to make a conference tournament run, Creighton or Nebraska ball? Well, I'd probably say Nebraska ball.
They're in a better starting spot.
Yeah, in theory, they've already made a run because of their super mega bye.
And they both have to win 3 games to win their conference tournament.
That is true. They are both in the quarterfinals. They're actually starting at the same spot.
Yeah, that is true.
There's just been more conference tournament before Nebraska starts playing in their conference tournament. So do we call it? They've made a pre-run in the conference tournament at this point?
It would seem that way, but
if you're asking who's more likely to end up in the final, it's Nebraska.
Jacob Bigelow pointed this out, and it's something that I've known, but I always forget until we get to this time of year. Nebraska either only gets a bye all the way to the first games for teams in the Big Ten tournament. Or plays on the first day.
They've only ever been a top 4 seed or a bottom 4 seed.
Yeah, it's truly remarkable.
It's kind of insane. And so they've been a top 4 seed now 3 times. 4. This is the 4th time.
Yeah.
So the year they
13, 14, 17, 18.
They made the tournament both of those years.
23, 24, and then 25, 26.
They did not make it in 17, 18.
No, they didn't make it in 17, 18. They lost by Michigan in the 4-5 game.
Yeah. And then they did make the tournament, obviously, in those other 2 periods. And Nebraska, obviously, in a very good position to make the tournament.
23, 24.
I don't know. We'll have to take a look and make sure if they make the tournament. Everybody on
I feel
good.
They keep being in the bracket sim, even though they aren't allowed to get past the round of 32.
It's been a week now since they've got past the Sweet 16 or to the Sweet 16. Yeah. So we're starting to grow concerned as the bracket sims start to wind down. We're going to need another appearance. I'd like to see at least one beyond the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see a run as well. I would rather just make sure they're getting to the round of 32. I suppose if I had to pick one deep run, or consistently not losing to Hawaii, I guess I'm choosing the not losing to Hawaii.
That's true. That's only happened once.
It did.
But
so
we
was crestfallen.
You were crushed. You were crushed. Elsewhere today on the show, we will talk about a variety of different things. We have some college basketball topics for you all. We'll look big picture on Fred Hoiberg and how he's gotten to this position. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Bobby Witt Jr. from last night.
No, I haven't seen that.
What?
Mm-mm.
You should have.
Dana, what are you watching if you haven't seen
Dana,
this?
You better watch Bobby Witt Jr. He is going to be your MVP this year. People keep telling me, no, Connor, it's going to be Aaron Judge again. I'm just saying, wait. Yep. You'll see.
All right.
You'll see. And then we check back in on the Frager files. Everybody's wondering about what's going on with Braden
Where
Frager.
is he?
And he's sitting on the
Do
bench.
we need to wait until there's at least 5 mentions of this in the stream?
No, because Fred Hoiberg talked about it last night on the radio.
That's good.
So it was important to note that. No Magic City night in Atlanta.
I did see that. I was wondering if that had made its way to you.
And we will have today will be the Big Ten's postseason award announcements from the Big Ten Network. We will predict where Nebraska basketball players may end up on the postseason award list for the Big Ten Conference. How's that sound?
That's
some ideas. Good. We'll take a look at some free agency in the NFL because there was a bunch of junk going on yesterday as well. Shout out to the Chiefs. You get the Super Bowl MVP at running back. Is it a good idea? I'm not sure, but at least they have a running back now, something they haven't really had in a long time.
And they kept Travis Kelce for another year.
Now that might be a detriment. He is slow and old.
Yeah,
at this point. But it would have been very, very difficult to imagine him playing anywhere else. There's just certain guys where you're like, yeah, that guy shouldn't be playing anywhere else.
Well, one of those guys signed elsewhere yesterday.
Exciting. Can't wait to find out who you're referencing.
Well, you'll know it when you hear it.
All right. We will take a timeout. Thanks for joining us, being here on this Tuesday early morning. Come back for more on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. The U.S. World Baseball Classic game victors last night against Mexico, featuring Paul Skeens and a heavy dose of Bobby Witt Jr. Today we have Czechia and Japan. It is 0-0 game as they head to the 6th at the Tokyo Dome. Then Israel and the Netherlands coming up later on this evening. Canada, Puerto Rico coming up later on this evening. And they'll finish it off with Italy and the United States. Vinny Pasquantino with the it's Vinny Pasquantino versus Bobby Witt Jr. Although I doubt Bobby will probably play tonight. They'll probably just do the Gunnar Henderson thing again. But they have the espresso in the dugout, which is exciting.
There's a couple Royals guys on the Italian team. Isn't Jack on that?
Jack Caglione is also on.
Yeah.
So Royals Fever America will have this evening as they watch Italy and the United States in Houston. All right, it is conference championship week, and we're going to talk more about college basketball in just a couple minutes, but I just saw this list from Andy Katz.
All right.
Andy Katz is living and breathing, so that means he's putting out a bad list. So here it is.
Bad list.
Well,
All
I
right.
guess you could be the judge of that. Andy Katz's top 10 conference tournaments.
Okay. That's a really unnecessary list. So, I mean, I'm excited.
Now, I don't think he's talking about anything specific to this year or storylines that are intriguing about
Okay.
this year. I just think he's talking about
In general.
There are certain things that I value as it pertains to conference tournaments, and I want to know if yours are the same. So here's the jumping off point from Andy Katz. He has, should I go 10-1 for Andy?
Yeah, 10-1 for
All right,
sure.
10-1, he's got the Ivy League, which
Okay.
is a brand new tournament, so I don't really know how that.
Yep, that seems like a stupid inclusion, so the list is off to a poor start.
9, the American Conference, which obviously they had that one time where there was that UConn Cincinnati game when UConn was in the AAC.
Yeah, I can't think of like any amazing American conference.
Just the one that I just said.
Yeah, but like, that's Memphis and FAU at this point, right? Like,
I don't know that FAU is in there.
I get the American and Conference USA.
Yeah,
confused.
I don't think FAU's in it's it's
All right.
it's UCF's old conference.
Yeah.
It's all them guys. It's Memphis and South Florida and
looking at their tournament bracket.
yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff going on in the American Conference. None of which is like excellent basketball.
None of which is excellent.
It's a one big league now.
The A10 is
Okay,
number
that's
8.
one that I think deserves to be included.
That's
in
a
a
good
list like
tournament.
this.
Okay. The Mountain West,
Good with it.
the MAC tournament.
I've
Never thought about
mean-
the MAC tournament.
thought about it a lot this year.
Yeah.
Beyond this year, never.
This is why I am angry. The Big East is at 5 for Andy Katz.
It should be higher.
It should be 1. The Big East is the best conference tournament.
Interesting.
Why do
Like
you
the
think-
current construction of the Big East is the best conference tournament, or just throughout history?
The Big East is always the best conference tournament.
Interesting. Okay, so
Semifinal Friday at Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
And then Saturday night you come back and the intros and MSG and the entire thing. Obviously the East Coast teams, if there's UConn in it, if there's St. John's in it, whatever it looks like. And then just the vibe and the feel of it. There's not a conference tournament that could stake claim to a place like the Big East can to Madison Square Garden, which is something that I hold very, very close. Like, I think that's important. Consistency of going back to the same building over and over and over again and doing the same thing. It's the reason why the SEC baseball tournament is the best. It's the reason why the Big 12 basketball tournament is becoming cool, which he has number 1, by the way. And yeah, it's like that. It is the number 1 conference basketball tournament.
The thing I think the most
That is
about-
a non-biased opinion.
Oh, well, I don't know that can really be true, but I mean, so the thing that stands out the most to me when I think about the Big East is the historical stuff of it, which was
Yeah.
it was the first conference tournament I can remember that I would be able to watch during the day if I wasn't at school, or more importantly, if I was at school, I would find reasons to go follow the score of the most meaningless Big East tournament game because it was basketball happening during the day, which to me was always an amazing event when I was
back when it was like a super mega conference.
Well, and it was just like, it was like, this is wild. And I've talked about this, like,
it had
St.
many,
John's
many great
run
moments
with like Marcus Hatfield was like amazing to me at one point in time. So it's got this history to it. It has, I'm pretty sure this was a Big East tournament game, but the Syracuse UConn was at like the multi overtime. That was Big East tournament, right?
Correct.
So it's got one of the most notable games that I can ever remember conference tournaments, period.
Cardiac Kemba.
And so that you have that. I think the current iteration of the Big East probably isn't as exciting to me as like
I'm looking at this as like a big picture overview
Sure.
type of deal. Like, so I do think you have to include the history. Obviously, the fact that the conference is way different now takes a little bit of the steam out of it. But like, as the conference has completely changed they've added all the new teams, and the conference is just completely different than it used to be. It's not like they've changed their conference tournament to adapt to the fact that they have the Midwestern schools. Like, they haven't moved it to Omaha.
Yeah.
The Big East schools, the new Big East schools, have become more Big East. And I think a big part of it is because of the Big East Conference tournament. Like, I just think that is an anchor point of the league. Like, it's the best thing the Big East Conference does. Point blank, period.
I would argue the best thing the Big East Conference does is have UConn win national titles for it.
That helps, obviously.
that would be my argument for its current iteration. But yeah, I mean, it's historically, it's probably the one that, you know, when I think of like random drama in a conference tournament, it comes to mind, at least in terms of the major conferences, far more than, you know, certainly the SEC or anything else.
I wish I could put the Big Ten higher. I just don't know where it's going to be on a given day.
I think the biggest things the Big Ten has going for it is the final game before Selection Sunday.
Yep.
Full stop.
Big help.
That's it. That's the entirety of the list.
Yep.
That is not an insignificant thing because I find myself watching that game. Yeah. It's weirdly been an entertaining game.
And you have
3 out of 5 years.
You have like on the Selection Sunday show, you have the Big Ten tournament champions sitting there in their locker room.
Right.
And they're like, we just won. Like,
well,
that's
cool. About this, like, part of what I would want for Nebraska to win the Big Ten tournament is to be the team playing in that game before Selection Sunday.
Yeah.
Having that opportunity just seems really cool.
Now,
but that is like the only, because I like what your biggest selling point on the Big East for me is at the singular location.
Yes.
I love that the West Coast, they're playing theirs tonight. It's always at the Orleans. It's always in Vegas at the Orleans. Like, I like when something has a central thing that everything else operates.
Agreed completely.
The Big Ten tournament has been in the last 12 years, has been in DC, has been in
Madison Square Garden.
Been in New York.
That was a weird year.
It's been in Chicago, Indianapolis, Minneapolis.
I think that might be it.
That might be it.
They haven't gone to Detroit yet, but there might be a Detroit in the future or something like that. Well,
there's talk of LA, Vegas.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
These other schools.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like
that's going to be a mess.
It has no home to it at all.
Which makes it immediately not as
like I said,
cool.
the whole thing that it has going for it is that it plays right before
selection. And maybe Andy Katz is like, doing a little bit more weight on what he feels like the storylines are this year, but it just says Andy Katz's top 10 conference.
Yeah, it probably needs a
I'm sure it is designed to make people angry, which it has kind of made me angry this morning.
It's at Big East is at 5,
ACC 4, SEC 3, Big 10 2, Big 12 1.
So that's fascinating because I think of the ACC after probably the Big East in terms of the conference tournament that I've randomly watched the most.
I agree.
Because I've watched a ton of Duke losing in the ACC tournament.
It's in Greensboro.
It is in Greensboro. There's been really good games.
The SEC has moved around. They've done some Atlanta. They've done some Nashville.
I don't think about that one
I don't really think about the SEC tournament either.
It's that conference, for as much as it holds in my brain for football, it really does not have any weight in basketball.
They live paid rent.
And it's
in
not
your
that they're
brain.
good.
Not
Or
rent-free.
it's not that they're bad. They're clearly not bad, but it's just I don't care about it.
Yeah.
I guess in a way.
I'm trying. Like I don't know.
What would the argument for
People-
Big 12 at 1 be?
I don't know. They're glass court probably. These
No half court lines.
these media people are glass court shills at this point. They're like, have you seen the glass court?
They
I
love Kansas
it.
City.
I love the glass court.
They just want to see Kansas win the Big 12 tournament over and over.
They just
and
want to
over?
see Iowa State take over the Power and Light again, like they do every single
Yeah.
year, and have all their fans there.
I'm not sure. Like,
I
I
like
would
that
not put the
tournament.
Big 12 over ACC, and the Big East would have a claim to that as well.
I like that tournament. I think that tournament is good. The Big
It's
12
fine.
tournament is good. I don't like. I
When Nebraska played in the Big 12, that was the entire, center of the universe for me, the Big 12 tournament.
Right.
They don't play in it anymore, so I don't think about it anywhere near the same way.
I think it's a good tournament. I wish the Big Ten would settle on Chicago and just keep it in Chicago, or just keep it don't try to do all this stupid stuff. I mean, the dumbest thing they ever did was putting it a week early and going to Madison Square Garden.
That was pretty bad.
one
DC was not much better.
No.
The games, especially the Nebraska Penn State game that went into double overtime.
Yeah.
And there's a big conversation about whether Miles was going to get fired or not.
And here's one more.
There's nobody that goes to those.
Here's one more little little point that goes in the Big East tournament's favor. I think it's a high major conference, but it's not like a 12 bid league, right? So the SEC, it's like, all right, if we lose the SEC tournament to Kentucky, then okay, I guess we lost to Kentucky.
Yeah, if Auburn just shows up, they're
Yeah,
probably going to get in the NCAA tournament. They don't have to win. They
same
just
thing
make
with
sure
the
they
Big
show
Ten.
up.
Same thing with the Big 12. All these highly seeded teams. ACC not so much anymore. But there's stakes. I think now ultimately this year in the Big East, it's probably going to end up being St. John's and UConn in the final. So it's not gonna it's not gonna matter
I don't know.
anyway.
Can UConn make it? They're going to have to get past those teams at the bottom of the bracket.
I know. Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge for them.
It has been a challenge.
I
at
wouldn't
times.
put it in Sharpie.
Okay. A pen with whiteout handy.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
Crayon, maybe.
I am I'm trying to be. I think I did an okay job of being unbiased. I truly believe the Big East Conference tournament.
You sold me on the.
There's a lot of things going.
You
for
sold
it.
me on it being in one location. I do agree.
I think it's huge. It is.
I want to be clear. I am not honking. I honk for many things. I do not honk for the Big Ten basketball tournament.
It is the building that is most associated with the conference. And at the same the another big thing that the Big East has going for it is it's a basketball conference.
Yeah.
They could just put all their resources toward it and
Right.
say this is what we do really, really well.
It is in a basketball venue that pretty much everyone that knows about basketball knows of that venue's existence. And it's a basketball conference.
Yeah,
It's got that going.
It's been there forever. We will take a quick timeout. We'll get you updated on who's punched their ticket so far and what a dirty bid stealer is after this on 1620 The Zone. Good tweet from our friends at Cespedes Family Barbecue. A World Baseball Classic rule edit I have is that if baseball isn't your primary job, you should be exempt from pitch limits. If the Czech electrician wants to throw 160 pitches, he should be able to. I agree. Cosign to that rule. All right, let's talk about college basketball here a little bit. No, we just got done doing, so we got some more. So, by the way, we never gave proper credit to our friends from Miami University. Not Miami of Ohio, Miami University, completing their undefeated regular season with a win over their biggest rival and immediately starting to throw middle fingers into the crowd, which was just perfect.
That was hilarious.
They are like America's sweetheart and America's villain all at the same time. They got Travis Steele out there kicking over drum sets. Don't touch my drum set. And then they got dudes flipping people off after the Ohio game and finishing off the regular season.
Didn't their head coach knock down a speaker stand when he got ejected?
Don't touch my drum set. Yes, exactly. I mean, they are fascinating to watch, and they are almost certainly going to the NCAA tournament, regardless of what happens in the MAC tournament this week. But listen to this. So they get UMass in the MAC tournament starting on Thursday. Miami of Ohio, who is undefeated, they have won 4 overtime games this season. They have won another 5 games by 3 or less. And then also very earlier in the season, they beat Mercyhurst, which I didn't really know existed until now. Obviously, they found themselves in this conference title game tonight. Mercyhurst by 5. So they've played a variety. I mean, probably about half their games. I was looking through it a couple nights ago when I was putting this together. Half of their games basically have been decided by less than 10. They're always in these close games. It's not like they're a mid-major who's just crushing everybody on their way to an undefeated season. They are living on the edge. If you play their 31 games out, 100 different times, chances are they go, about what Nebraska's record is, 26-5 or whatever it is most of the time.
My introduction to Miami of Ohio was we were doing this show. They're one of the undefeated teams along with Vanderbilt, Nebraska, Arizona. I think Michigan at that time was undefeated. Then they lost to they were the first one to lose. And so then it was like I was looking at Miami of Ohio and they were playing Toledo. I noticed the score was like close. And then Toledo had pulled away and there's like a minute and a half left. And so I'm watching this on my computer on ESPN Plus because I don't know. I just started my going sicko mode at that point.
I respect that.
And they erased like the 7-point deficit in like 25 seconds to come back against Toledo to force overtime. And it was at that point that I should have just realized this team seems to just play better when it's in the final minute of regulation. I would love to know what I don't even think it's advanced stats, but just what the scoring differential is for them in the last minute of regulation, because they have come back and won. You mentioned this, but they've come back and they have won multiple times, either forcing overtime or winning at the end of regulation. They've done it 3 times in like the last 5 games.
They've won. So like I said, they've been to overtime. They won 4 overtime games. I think they also won a few more games on shots that they had to make within the last 5 seconds.
Yeah. Their last 3 games are a 69-67 win, a 74-72 win, and a 110-108 win.
So it's such a fascinating case because they've become the narrative team or the talked about team. Bruce Pearl has put himself in the middle of this, obviously, as he likes to. I mean, you could really make the case that they're not that good, and they probably aren't, and they'll probably lose the first round of the NCAA tournament. But you deserve to be rewarded for the fact that you've won every single game that you've won this year so far. And I hope that's thought about when it, as it pertains to seeding. And then we'll see what happens this week at the MAC tournament for them. So shout out to our friends from Oxford.
Do you think they'll win the MAC tournament?
I don't.
It just feels like it's going to be really tough to continue to Houdini every game.
I know.
Yeah, and then this isn't one of those where they're just putting the semifinal.
And you're playing teams for the 3rd time.
Right.
Like I don't think they'll win.
It'll be the second for Akron.
And there's going to be quite the discussion about them when they do not.
I think they're going to be in.
Ultimately, I still think they'll make the NCAA tournament. All right, so that's one to watch as far as dirty bid stealers are concerned. We have 7 bids that have already been secured to the NCAA tournament. High Point from the Big South, Northern Iowa from the Missouri Valley, Long Island University from the Northeast Conference, Tennessee State from the OVC, North Dakota State from the Summit League, Troy last night from the Sun Belt, and Furman from the SoCon. Furman back in the NCAA tournament for the first time since that Virginia game, 3 years ago now, or I guess the game after that, which
took out a popular Nebraska's getting matched up with East Tennessee State a lot in the bracketology. So
there you go.
Took them out.
Watch out for the latest bracket sim. Okay, and I feel like we need a refresher course on this. What is a bid stealer? All right, a bid stealer is not someone who just wins a one bid league. If the one bid league is a one bid league, that means there can't be a bid stealer in it.
For instance, a headline today has referred to Furman as a bid stealer, which is inaccurate because there is only one team coming.
I had to convince you on this yesterday, but people are illiterate as it pertains to
I didn't realize
stealers.
this was an epidemic, but having the 1-for-1 ratio on it now pushed me to the other side. I didn't need much, but I'm here.
By my math, we can only have about 8 or 9 bid stealers in America this year. And they can really only come from multi-bid. I mean, they can only come from multi-bid leagues. I think the MAC is, potentially one of those because, like we said, Schaefer, I think Miami of Ohio is going to be in no matter what. So Akron could be that. You could also make a case for Akron to be an at-large team as well, although I don't think that's going to be
Profiles
the case.
Probably falls a little short of what's necessary.
So in the MAC, I mean, I would say anyone other named not Akron or Miami is a bid stealer, and you could even call Akron a bid stealer. I think at this point that is one potential. Then we go to the high major conferences. So the SEC is going to have a bunch of teams in. By my math, anyone not named Florida, Alabama, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Texas A&M, Texas, and Missouri. We get Texas and Missouri are bubble teams. If Texas and Missouri go all the way to the finals even, then they're going to have enough on their resume to say that they can make it. So anyone in that conference not named those teams. In the Big 12, anyone not named Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, Texas Tech, Kansas, BYU, TCU, and UCF. There's a couple bubble teams in there. If UCF obviously makes it all the way to the finals, they're going to have enough on their resume to be in as
they might just need one win.
This in these high major conferences, it's highly unlikely that a dirty bid stealer comes out of them, although we have seen it from time to time. In the Big Ten, anyone not named Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, Nebraska, Purdue, Wisconsin, UCLA, Iowa, Ohio State, and then Indiana, who is sort of an interesting case. Once again, I think they're a team where if they get to the final, they'll have enough on their resume. In the Big East, anyone not named St. John's, UConn, or Villanova could be a dirty bid stealer. In the Mountain West, now this is the most likely place to have a dirty bid stealer, in my opinion, a DBS. Anyone not named Utah State. The Mountain West currently looks like a one bid league
because they've had so many of the San Diego State,
San Diego State's a little down this year.
Bubble.
Yep.
Even Colorado State has looked at the bubble and then the bubble said no.
The bubble just went, boop,
It did. It
right.
Really did.
So I think Utah State is the only surefire thing in for the Mountain West at this point.
I would agree with that, but it's those other ones have hovered enough where there's a chance New Mexico could be the 68th team in.
Right. So I think if anyone other than Utah State wins it, that could be referred to as a bid steal at this point. In the A10, this is a very likely place for a bid steal as well. St. Louis or VCU are the only at-large teams at this point. St. Louis is leaking oil at the moment. And so anyone not named St. Louis or VCU could be a dirty bid stealer. And then in the West Coast Conference, we have reached the point where there will not be a dirty bid stealer in that because it's Santa Clara and Gonzaga in the finals, both of which will probably be at large, although Santa Clara is kind of on the bubble, but getting to the final and getting that win against St. Mary's is huge for them. So probably you could take the West Coast Conference out.
Yeah, they're likely in, but at the same time, we've seen similar sort of teams could be left out or have been left out in the past. So they could do themselves a huge favor by winning and just guaranteeing it. Would easily be a 3-bid league. at
There
that
you
point.
go. There's your setup. Plenty more conference tournament basketball coming up as the week goes along. We will take a timeout, 7:00 hour. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Look at this. Upset alert for Japan. They're not able to put any offense together here in the World Baseball Classic. They are getting shut down by Czechia. It is the top of the 8th, and there is no score. Pressure tightening up on Japan. Although I don't think it really matters.
It doesn't, because Japan's already won the group, and
There was
has lost the group.
There was the odd thing yesterday with Australia where they were trying to cut the deficit down, like they were super jacked that they made it a 6-2 game, but then ended up blowing that anyway and getting eliminated on run differential. Like, that was stupid pool play. I hate pool play. I hate pool play of any kind. I've decided.
No, it's.
What do you think about pool play, Schaefer?
I mean, it's basically the only way to do these world tournaments.
It is.
So
it is.
I like it when it works out well for the U.S.
We're gonna have to get
the only way that I can describe,
especially for soccer.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get refamiliarized with pool play coming up for the World Cup this summer.
What do you mean get refamiliarized?
Yeah, they got some pool play here, pool play there. You know, take a few months off, and then pool play shows up again. Who's in our pool? Remember we were watching the selection that one day?
Yeah, I knew, and then I forgot, and then people who knew things told me it was a good draw.
It did seem like a good draw. I will say that. I remember watching when the lottery balls got picked and FIFA made a whole big spectacle out of it. And I was like, dear God, let's get on with it here.
Yeah, so they'll have Australia, Paraguay, and a intercontinental playoff will determine who else.
Oh,
and I think that's coming up soon.
A play-in game?
Yeah, they're doing play-in games because they expanded.
Do they play it?
They did expand the.
Yeah, I think 32 to 48 or 40 teams.
Okay,
I'm trying to think how many teams there are in the world.
Now they don't play that in Dayton, do they?
No, they don't. I don't think Dayton has a large capacity.
Dayton should demand
they might play it in Columbus.
Dayton should be play-in city.
I love that idea. Like, they're aggressively making bids for every sort of play-in thing.
Yeah.
That would be an excellent city bid.
They should host Northwestern and Penn State tonight.
They really should. Like, no one else should host that. But
and you put just put John Rothstein there and just have him there.
They put him in a high school gym. Like, nobody wants to go to this anyways.
Right. I don't know. I think it's a pretty good idea. You just rebrand your whole town to play in town.
I like it.
Canton's got the NFL Hall of Fame. Dayton can be play in town.
Yeah. Oxford has Bill Snavely. Dayton needs something to claim.
Exactly. It's falling behind the times at this point. Let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here's Bucky. Good morning, Bucky. What's going on?
Nothing much, fellas. Thanks. Hey, Connor, I got to call you out. I think that you probably do like pool play. You strike me as like a Sharks and Minnows guy, or maybe where the two chicks get on top of the guy's shoulders and they chicken fight each other.
Oh, I do like that.
Kind of pool
That's
play,
true.
bro?
That's different pool play, though. I do like that, though.
I had to try to hijack the show real quick.
Well, we like
I
it.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Bucky. Appreciate the call. I do like that. I like those little torpedoes, those heavy kind of foam torpedoes that you'd throw in the pool, and they would shoot into the wall of the pool. That's good pool play for me.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not all anti-pool play.
Just sports pool play?
Sports pool play.
International pool play?
International pool play, I'm out on. Inter-pool play, I'm sort of in on. John writes in, do you even hate the noodles? No, I like pool noodles. I like to put the water in there and blow it out on the other end and blow it in the face of my opponent.
There's 0% chance that this would not have been a poll question in your previous show.
Do you
hate pool noodles?
Do you hate pool noodles? No, I'm team pool noodles, man. No. It's tried and true.
They're fine.
I don't like floaties though.
Like the floaties you wear, the floaties that people are.
No, the floaties that you wear like on your arms.
Yeah, no, I don't think most people like that.
I always wanted to ditch the floaties. I was like, I could do this. And then I'd sink to the bottom of the pool. It's like,
how you ditch the floaties? You learn to swim.
You learn how to swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume you eventually learned how to swim?
I did. I
learned enough to keep yourself afloat?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's really all you need. I don't need to be an expert.
I don't think that's true.
Really?
Yeah, I think people should know how to swim. I think it's the thing
define knowing how to swim.
you should be able to safely get yourself, a certain distance.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I can.
All right.
You don't believe me?
Well,
You think I'm biased like I am toward the Big East tournament? I can swim, Schaefer. I swear.
yeah, can you swim a distance? I don't know. We'd have to determine what the distance would be. This gets into
Does it have to look good?
No.
All right. No, it don't look good.
I don't care about the aesthetics of it. It's whether you can physically be able to do it long enough to get you safely to wherever you need
Absolutely.
to go. Should you be shipwrecked?
Absolutely.
Or find yourself in a situation where you fall into a moving current.
How many yards do you want out of me? I got you. How many meters?
I don't know. We'll have to look this up.
I can make it happen.
Just swim across the Missouri River. We'll call it good.
I don't think you should try that.
No, I don't think I want to try that either. I might have a disease when I get out of it. That would be bad.
That might be the best case scenario.
Cody writes in, wait until your kids are about 6 and then your love for pool noodles will decrease rapidly. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how my child enjoys the pool.
Hudson's a big fan, though I have to get him to stop trying to drink the pool water, which is
100%.
horrifyingly disgusting to me.
It really is.
Who has turned into like a weird, I don't think
Pool
I'm a
water,
germaphobe,
bath water.
but oh yeah, and then he tries to drink bath water too.
I'm like,
Not
stop
great.
it.
It is not.
Why do you
great.
keep doing this?
I don't understand. It can't taste good.
That should be one of those things that like DNA that's pre-programmed in your brain that you should not really want to drink pool or bath water.
I assume it's always my reaction, which is just a loud, horrified, stop doing that, which then gets a smile and I'm doing what I should be doing.
I like drinking this water.
Yeah.
Classic.
Stupid.
All right. Welcome back, by the way. 7 o'clock hour of Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. Let's talk about Fred Hoiberg. Big picture here. Okay. So, and the reason why we're talking about this is because he got his extension officially announced yesterday. 3 extra years on top of his contract, a pay bump, as we learned. We didn't have the details at the time when we talked about it yesterday, but
flat 5 to start next year.
$5 million. And then I think it goes up $100,000 every year. Once again, I mean, like there's stuff that's in there at the end of the contract where you're just like, all right, I don't really have to worry about that. If you get to the end of the contract, then you're just not, right? That's not how it works. You're getting either renewed or fired before the end of the contract. And that's how it sort of works. So I wanted to talk about this big picture a little bit and really, really try to put it in perspective. What happened? What was the key thing that happened for Fred Hoiberg? How did he go from lost and frustrated and confused, most like, not unlike most basketball and football coaches who have been at Nebraska before? I'm swimming in it, no pun intended. How do I figure this out? To immediately figuring it out, or immediately taking steps to doing so a few years ago, and then it blossoming into this. I've seen some commentary about it over the last couple of days, and it's just like, yeah, the patience really paid off, and I think that's absolutely true, and I think there is a lesson there for Nebraska, but there was no guarantee that even if you stuck with Fred Hoiberg, that he was going to be able to figure it.
Yeah.
I have my reasons for why I believed, and I'll explain those in a second. But I mean, they were, what was it, 20 some in the teens and 60 some in the Big Ten Conference or against Power 5 teams. I had it written down somewhere for the longest time. It was absurd before a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it was so bad to this. How did that happen?
So I think like there's a lot of different avenues to arriving to where we are here in 2025, 26. But I think the biggest one.
What's the biggest one?
The biggest one is the 2022-23 season. I mean, there is where you kind of see.
Right, but what happened in order to get there?
So to get there, you have.
So just to put the context on this. 7-25, 7-20, 10-22, and then the season that you're mentioning with Greasel and Bandamel and those guys, 16-16.
Right.
Obviously, something happened in that offseason, and a mindset change happened in that offseason to lead to that. because I agree with you completely. That's when it started.
The
But
3
why?
years prior included Matt Abdelmassa as sort of your primary go out and get players.
I never
And-
understood why that happened in the first place.
Well, I mean, I understand why. He has incredible connections throughout college basketball and did the same job at a really high level for Patino at St. John's until ultimately,
not anymore.
outside factors determined his probably future. But
Outside factors in general, just factors.
he had outside factors at Nebraska too.
Definitely some factors. Yeah.
There was some factors. So that was a big part of it, is that the type of players he was getting didn't even fit the type of system that Fred wanted to sort of run.
And Schaefer, like, that is where I ultimately went back to time and time again. I would say when the first year didn't go well, I was like kind of in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're gonna that roster was tossed together with all those guys. They had nobody returning, and it was just like, oh my God. I like, let's wait to see what happens. And when they still sucked in 2021, I'm like, I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know. He is such a good coach. He has proven it time and time again at whatever level he's at. He is such a good coach. And that's ultimately what gave me the confidence going forward. I'm like, give him time. He's going to figure it out. And then that just became harder to believe and harder to believe and harder to believe. I'm like, I don't know. He might not. But I couldn't understand why they did what they did and why they had the people that they had in their program and why they were organizing it that way for the longest time. And ultimately, I looked at that as a positive for Fred. I'm like, I think he has to hate this so much. He has to be just dying on the inside that he'll either quit, he'll either be done with this or make it change.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately what happened.
So there's, like I said, there's a lot that kind of goes into all of this. And the turning point is unquestionably that 22-23 season. But to get there, you had to sort of fail with Matt Abdelmassa, which meant you brought in, and this wasn't the 1-to-1. They replaced Matt Abdelmassa with, I believe, Adam Howard.
Yeah, there's been a
Nate Lenzer was the
Yeah.
coach that was hired ahead of the 21-22 season. His hiring is as big of a factor in
22-23.
Yeah, so his
Yeah.
hiring is as big of a factor in this as anything, because he has helped instill a lot of this sort of toughness and defensive style that Nebraska has now kind of made
Absolutely.
their hallmark.
Now,
Like,
how did he come to that conclusion, right? How did he reach that point of like, we need to be a defensive first basketball team? Whether it actually, because I think
I don't know that it was just set out to do that. I know why he brought in Nate Lenzer, though. He talked about him as in, this guy is an absolute ass kicker as far as development.
Yep.
Like, if you can handle how he sort of coaches and, gets after you and this kind of the rigor of which he puts into everything that he does, you come out on it on the other side, you're going to be better. And this is all from like his time in the G League and all these other things that, Fred was very familiar with him and everything he had done. But it's like, this is someone that I think I can bring in that is going to sort of whip what I want into shape.
they needed structure.
Yeah.
They needed that, which is once again what makes it so confusing to me as what they were doing the first couple of years. I couldn't believe that was what they decided to do. I could not believe that was the players they were going to do it with and what they were trying to do. And they got some decent players.
Yeah.
They had a lot of wins out of the transfer portal. They got Bryce McGowan's out of the era, and Trey McGowan's was obviously a really good player too. But there was no structure for them
There's
to
no
walk
cohesiveness to any idea of what it was that you were trying to do on a basketball court
into.
with the players that you had. And then there's all sorts of things in there.
And if there was, it was only offensively.
That's 100%.
They were I remember having conversations during that time of like, oh man, they're getting the shots that they want to get and they want to design. And, for the first couple of years, they just weren't making them at all. And then And then it just flipped on the other side. And I think a big part of that obviously is Lenzer. But I think he figured out that in order to be successful on offense, you gotta find a way to make it start on the defensive end. And then you implement that system because of the type of personnel that you have, and you realize, all right, well, we don't have a 7-footer.
We're not going to have a rim protector in the traditional sense.
Right. So let's create a style that works for us
Right.
and that bothers other teams and that we could repeat with effort and all those different things. And then they got some personnel that fits it perfectly. And here we are. Now, I don't know that it's going to be this good every year, but it could perennially be a 20-win team.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be this good, but I do think every year, I think the sort of the upside is what this is when it all comes together. And it took a lot of things that had to work out just perfectly for them to be in this spot, including the way the schedule broke for them too. I mean, getting Michigan State and Illinois early is probably advantageous versus if they would have played them at the end of the schedule, what that might have looked like.
Agreed.
But that all being said, I like part of it too in that 22-23 season. And I think Sam Greisel was a huge part of this as well. Like just going and getting him and kind of what he brought as a sort of steadying veteran. And I think that kind of changed the type of player that not so much skill wise, but the mental type of player that Fred was sort of going after. Because if you compare that to Alonzo Verge or Teddy Allen or some of the guys prior, there's a mental makeup that I think has changed quite a bit with the type of player that Hoiberg is. And then he also has an eye for talent. Like that's something that Bryce Williams was an incredibly smart guy to just go and pluck. And I don't think they had a whole lot of competition to go get him.
That team that you keep mentioning, the 22-23 team that went 16-16, Walker, Greasel were kind of their guys. You got a little bit of Tominaga coming in.
He came on in February.
And you eventually had some pretty important stuff from Sam Hoiberg at the end of that season as well.
That's when he came on in February too.
Jamarcus Lawrence. And
that Bandamel injury is weirdly very valuable for the history of Nebraska basketball. And it sounds insane to say, but if he doesn't get hurt, you don't probably get as many minutes for Casey and for Hoiberg.
But that's how it goes when you have successfully implemented a system and a culture, right? You don't get Sam Hoiberg to pop off the bench in replacement of a guy who got hurt and was a big part of your team. Although, Bandamel, there was his warts obviously as a player as well. But you don't get that unless that guy comes into the game and knows exactly what to do and exactly what his role is. And that's when it all started. If that, if Bryce McGowan's would have got hurt the year before or whatever, like they would have just been completely lost.
Right.
They would have had nothing to replace it. And it would have been impossible to imagine them having like really any sort of success. And it set the table. And so like I what the big picture takeaway here is, yeah, I think patience is a part of this, but it's also, I think, an oversimplification of this sort of, roller coaster or, this steady track, I guess, that they've been on at this point. Because I don't think it's a lesson, because you could look at a lot of coaches who are struggling in their first couple of years, and they might say, well, look at Fred Hoiberg. He really turned it around and figured it out.
You have to start with the base of it's Fred Hoiberg.
That's it. That's what I keep coming back to. This guy is a good coach. And I don't know what, I guess it's just his history and his track record that made me think that over a long period of time. I'd seen him do it before.
Yeah.
Right.
That never hurts.
But that's what I kept coming back to. Like, this guy is way better than this in his first 3 years. So I just thought he was absolutely sick watching what he saw. And it made me so confused as to why they kept doing it.
Yeah.
3 times. I was shocked by it.
So early on,
which is why I advocated for him to stay.
His first season at Nebraska, they're playing Indiana, who's ranked at the time and was good. And they're in this like close game. And it was kind of the moment where I'm like, this guy, compared to what Nebraska had in Tim Miles, who I thought was very good in terms of like the rah building up the branding of the program. I thought he was great at connecting with the recruits or the portal guys or what have you, and all of that. And then I thought games would start, and usually he was going to get either out coached, or at the end of games, he couldn't design plays. He couldn't come up with some sort of like consistent offensive
Tim Miles
set.
Tim Miles was a great emotional coach.
Yeah.
Tim Miles could get his guys going under any circumstances. And
that runs out though at some point.
Correct. What Fred Hoiberg has done is he's done the basketball first, right? Look at all the stuff that's going to come into place now that they've just won over a period of time. Like, they're going to get this investment into the program. They're going to be able to keep some of their top guys off of this team. They're going to have the money to be able to say that. And
they're going to have potentially money to add a guy or two that could be significantly better than you would expect.
They're going to fill their arena, like all these different things. They don't have to beg for it on a nightly basis. They have worried about the basketball first. And I just think that is a lesson that applies to pretty much every coaching job in America, whether it be football or basketball. Do the stuff on the field first, and then worry about all the other junk.
Do you see the Indiana game that I
do.
So they end up losing
the road
this game.
one or the home one?
It's a road one.
Yeah.
They end up losing it. And he draws up this play late, probably a minute left to go in the game, out of bounds. It's just beautiful action that sets up, I think, a 3-pointer for Thor. Your guy, backdoor Thor.
Indeed.
He knocks it down. Nebraska's it. I think they went to overtime in that game.
They did.
And it's just like he was designing stuff for this team that's clearly overmatched from a personnel standpoint. But like, you could see where he's got the vision to be able to do this. So that was like okay. And then it just kind of kept getting worse and worse and worse. But when it flipped, like, to me, it was so obvious in 22-23, they had found something. And then, of course, by 23-24, they're up in Sioux Falls and they just blitzed Wayne Tinkle's Oregon State. And I mean, I remember this. I'm sitting in the press conference and Wayne Tinkle's like, that's an NCAA tournament team. Like, that is a very, very good basketball team. And he ripped through all the things that he likes about Rink Mast and Tominaga and everything else. And then it just kind of builds on from there. And then last year, I feel like the scent gets thrown off from everybody because they had that rough 5-game stretch or whatever at the end of the regular season, where you lose to Minnesota on a last-second shot. You lose by 3 to Michigan. Like, they kept being close but not winning.
I had to be reminded this week that people were idiotic enough to say that they wanted him fired at the end of last year. And look, that is so stupid.
There is going to be this whole, like, oh, that didn't really happen. No, it did. Yeah. I have so many receipts.
But it's dumb.
I have thought about doing a literal basketball receipts podcast of I just read off tweets that I've gotten from people about Hoiberg, Sam Hoiberg, all of this stuff throughout the last couple of years.
So here's the other thing. And
the revisionism on this is amazing.
I want to take a break here, and then we can come back and maybe even discuss this a little bit further. Like, we'll swing it forward. What's the sort of expectation? Because people have to realize, like, it's not going to be like this every year. What they're doing is very repeatable, but it's not going to be like this every year in terms of the results. And
you mean we won't be running bracket sims with Nebraska every day?
I'll say it, Schaefer. They may even not make the NCAA tournament sometimes. So people need to sort of prepare themselves.
Am I supposed to be floored by this statement that's been true for most of my life?
Some people might be, because there's a lot in there. So let's take a break. What are your guys' thoughts? 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Call or text there. Also, the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed is open for you at HappenShape on Twitter. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Hardy is taking his country tour to the Metro, featuring special guest Cameron Whitcomb and McCoy Moore, Saturday, March 21st at the CHI Health Center. Listen all week to Middays with Matt for your chance to win your way into the show. I was thinking about March concerts around here. Won't be the case at the CHI next year. Did you know we're hosting an NCAA tournament again next year?
Yeah.
It's back,
Yes,
folks. Well, Joey knew, of course, Mr. Schedules.
Well, I looked at it the other day when we were talking about all the different host sites Nebraska could potentially go to, and Omaha appeared for next season for the 19th and the 21st.
Do you remember the whole Omaha discussion last year with them? With Nebraska?
No.
Yeah, I remember.
Before they lost all those games in a row to end the season, it was like, oh, it'd be really funny if they ended up in Omaha. And then they got, or I suppose this isn't last year. This is the last time.
23, 24.
24.
Right?
Sorry, last time they made the tournament. And it was like they might end up in Omaha, and that would be really, really funny. And it didn't end up happening. They ended up in Memphis. Of course.
I was going to ask, is there Houston did this where they got Rice to be the host school.
Yeah.
Could Creighton get Omaha to be the host school, even though they're playing in the literal arena that Creighton uses for their home games?
I don't think so.
Well, I guess I don't know the inner of like how that works.
Or they could joint host like they do the CWS.
They could say
if they
that.
joint host, then Creighton would still be ineligible to play.
Right.
Yeah.
So what Houston did is they were able to get Rice to then be the host to allow Houston to never have any worry about being prevented from playing.
The problem with that is the arena in which the tournament is hosted is not the arena in which Houston plays.
Right.
This is
right.
This is the arena that Creighton plays in.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way around it, sadly, for Creighton.
No, I don't think so either. Unless Lincoln joins as an NCAA tournament.
They want to. They keep attempting to put up empty storefront and boutique hotels to try to hit the hotel number.
Why don't they? I know this doesn't have much to do with it anymore. Why don't they fill that south end zone area with seats like the CHI did way back in the day? Remember that area used to be there used to be no seats up there when the downtown arenas first started. They didn't do that with Pinnacle Bank Arena. Take that capacity over 15,000 or 16,000 or whatever it is. Put more seats in. Get more hotels,
like Bryan Health Center thing over there.
Host an NCAA tournament, and everything is golden in Lincoln. And
they badly want to host,
and then Creighton could be the 3 seed there.
Badly want to host.
What if Creighton?
All of their downtown decisions have been geared around the idea of hosting more things.
They should do that.
Which it's famously only a downtown that hosts stuff, not a downtown that drives people to go to it. Just kind of its problem.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. No, I mean. It's great for the 7 home games and the handful of big Nebraska basketball games like them.
Similar things could be said for Omaha, for the record.
Yeah, well, I think that's also just the style of, if you're not extremely big, it's really hard to have something all the time that's going to draw people to an area.
I'm just wondering when we get the regional round back, when we get the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 back.
That was fun.
Not on the books for one.
Somehow whining.
Success, right?
It was a huge success.
Yeah, Kansas.
One of the things that
and the NCAA loves coming here because they know the people and they know what they're getting. They
know the people and they know they're going to sell all the tickets.
Yes.
Unlike when you go to Spokane and Boise and you see empty seats all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kills me is they go to these places and it's shown over and over and over that if you go to a certain level of community, you're going to get a buy-in because people are excited to host something.
Correct.
But if you go to a place that hosts stuff all the time and it doesn't have a direct correlation with a team, it will fail.
City dependent.
Yeah.
City dependent. The main reason why they like to go to the big cities, Chicago and New York, is because it's easy to get there. It's easy to get there. You can fly there with a lot of ease. And, it's been done a million times, so the logistics are already planned out. If you're going to Boise, all right, do we have the hotel space? Do we have the buses? Do we have the hotel?
They have all of that. But is it easy to get to Boise? Not really.
Right.
Are you going to get more people to come out and watch this than if you would have put it somewhere else? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
When they put it in the Boise and the Spokane, it just hasn't gone that way.
Which is why, which is why cities like Omaha and Kansas City are like perfect.
Yeah.
Easy enough to get there, especially if you're chartering, which you are for the NCAA tournament anyway, unless it's this year maybe.
Except for the
I mean, you can
airport.
make the case that the
Airport will be
center,
back soon.
and this just moves off of center a little bit, but like if you include Minneapolis and you just kind of go like sort of a meandering line down,
Yeah.
and you have
The
Minneapolis,
I-35
Omaha,
corridor.
Kansas City. You could even throw Des Moines in if you wanted to. I don't think you need to.
Throw Wichita in there.
I mean, you can.
Wichita hosted tournament.
You have Oklahoma City, which is going to be big, and it would have been big even if it wasn't Nebraska. And then Dallas for a large city that does events well and people attend. Dallas does pretty well with that.
Interesting.
Can continue on if you wanted to include San Antonio, but like the middle of the country run, like
I-35,
people show
baby.
up for stuff.
Interesting.
They really do.
What is it about that? Why does that happen?
Well, I think sports means a lot.
Yeah.
And live sports means a lot in this area of the country. You go out west, you have all the options. It doesn't mean as much.
Well, and I think like there is,
college sports matters a lot around here.
Right. And I mean, especially here, and I think this is the case in a lot of other Midwestern cities as well, where like there's just a lot of people who like Duke and North Carolina or like Kansas or the Yankees, you know, whatever it might be, the big brands. And so like if there's any chance of something adjacent to that being in your town, you're like, oh yeah, I'm there. Sioux Falls? Are you kidding me? Sioux Falls would go nuts.
Yeah.
So they've hosted an NCAA tournament before, right?
I don't think so.
I could look that
We
up.
were discussing when AI told me that Fargo hosted Zion Williams.
I don't believe that's the case.
Well, it wasn't. We
Yeah, you're
confirmed that wasn't true. I don't know why AI told me that.
Duke was supposed to play in Sioux Falls, but they backed out. This was after the COVID. This was the replacement for Battle for Atlanta's tournament.
Right. But I feel like they hosted a round of the NCAA tournament one time. Maybe
Volleyball is playing up in an exhibition game in Sioux Falls, and the ticket prices are insane.
Well,
for that.
they're doing that at the Pentagon, right?
Right. And then they're doing another they're playing at South Dakota State in a regular season game.
That's dope.
In which South Dakota State is not even selling those tickets as part of their season ticket package.
Yeah.
They have to have a lottery because the demand is going to be insane.
The Nebraska Volleyball Traveling Roadshow is coming
It
to a
is
city
really
near
amazing.
you.
It is like a national brand.
Yeah.
And it's unlike anything I've ever really seen with Nebraska.
So Sioux Falls has not hosted an NCAA tournament.
Put
game.
them on the list.
They
should be.
hosted D2
The Premier
championship
Center
games,
could easily host.
Definitely.
but
put 'em on the list.
not NCAA tournament. games.
Justice for my boys in Sioux Falls. Put them on the list. All right. We sort of got sidetracked in that segment. We were talking about Fred Hoiberg, but one comment on from John on the Equitable Bank inbox, who says Fred Hoiberg is a good coach that got it on the rails and is heading downhill. He deserves a raise and an extension. Matt Rule is not and got an extension because his buddy acted like he was going to hire him. So like I heard all that conversation yesterday. We don't talk about this for very long, but like there was an immediate reaction yesterday, and we had a brief conversation in the morning about like how people feel about the basketball program and the kind of gatekeeping of it with football. And then there was the announcement yesterday with Fred, and it was very normal. It was very, it was like, hey, he got a raise and an extension because they're having an excellent season and have had 3 really good seasons in a row. And this makes a lot of sense. And here's your extension, and here's your buy into the program, and people are loving it. And you couldn't help but notice the circumstances in which the last extension was given out for it wasn't at all the same, you know, and that's been the case with football. And you can't always have your dream scenario. It's worked out in a dream way for Fred Hoiberg in Nebraska basketball this season. There's no doubt about it. You're not always going to get it and make it that easy. And sometimes you have to do what you have to do, but people can't help but notice how organically great this basketball thing is at this point and how inorganically not great the football thing is to this point, I think.
Well, and then the basketball also just like the Sam Hoiberg piece of it brings people in. The Cale Jacobson piece of it brings people in. It's like, oh, these are guys that, we've watched them sort of build into what they are. And then Rink has been around for so there's a feeling of we know these guys. This is our team.
Yep.
These are our guys. They represent how we want basketball and all this other stuff. And so all of that sort of builds into there's just this collective like
It's organic.
Yeah.
It's just it just makes sense the way they're doing it. You know,
whereas football, you always feel like you're being kind of spoken to or
correct.
preached at, I guess would be, another term for it.
Yeah.
And it's like
How would you like to announce your extension? I'd like to go on Pat Mac.
Organic is such a nice way to put it for basketball because it was sort of allowed to kind of happen. Whereas football, anytime there's even like the smallest thing, it gets like blown up into something much, much larger
100%.
than it needs to be. And if you're going to announce an extension, I think most ADs don't want to do it during the season, but the circumstances of that one were a little bit different. I would be fascinated what a Matt Rule extension announcement would have looked like at the end of a 7-5 regular season in which you get blown out in your last 2 games. Like it obviously hits very different if you announce it at that time versus when they did. And if you go and you win the USC game, that changes how people look at it too.
Probably.
They had opportunities to make it look better, but
one more comment. This is a good one from Jimmy before we take a break. I would totally be a J-sker for Creighton football right now, which is a pretty interesting thing that I never really thought about before. Wonder if anybody else would be willing to get on that train. We'll take a break, and we'll have the headlines after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer with you on a Tuesday. Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Let's get to the headlines. Joey, what do we got today?
All right, first headline. Oddest unclaimed luggage items of 2025 include robot meteorite.
Okay, interesting. I love lists like that. So, all right, let's think about
This
it.
has our attention.
And
Second
what's the
one.
second
Okay,
headline?
second one. Okay. Mom accused of leaving 12-year-old at Universal City Walk to go to bar.
Oh, yeah, we're going with the first one. Everybody in agreement here?
Yeah.
All right, good. Oddest unclaimed luggage items of 2025 from UPI. Unclaimed baggage, the United States only authorized reseller of lost luggage. What? Releases third annual found report. An accounting of the items lost or abandoned by travelers last year. I'm going to click on that real quick. So this might lead me to another link. The most unusual finds from the report include a fully assembled robotic unit featuring fully articulated joints, electric motors, wiring, and control components. Another unusual piece of mechanical engineering was a powered prosthetic knee joint with an integrated motor, electronic controls, and metal housing. When found, the model was still in online trial phases, indicating clinical testing or early stage use. Wow, a discovery of sorts.
That is insane because it's like a plot point in a really awful Netflix show that I watched with your guy, Jeff Daniels.
I like Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
That is my guy.
It was a bad show.
All right, so now I'm on the actual report here, uncleanbaggage.com. So top 10 finds. Should we go 10 to 1 again?
Yeah. We love 10 to 1.
Teak didgeridoo. They found a didgeridoo.
Okay.
All right, a traditional style didgeridoo crafted from teak wood. They are wind instruments originating from indigenous Australian culture. Number 9, gold-plated golf clubs.
Okay.
Which I don't understand the point, but all right.
I don't either. I also don't understand why you were shipping them and then left them.
Now, does the airline lose them and then they get to, at a certain point, they get to claim them?
Yeah, I would think that you'd still, like, if you had lost your gold-plated clubs, there's probably not,
Yeah.
If they're found, it seems
I'd be
like
looking
you'd be
for
able
'em.
to get them back.
Number 8, beekeeping suit. Number 7, samurai swords. Number 6, Australian pure gold bar. Number 5, pair of fire poi. Number 4, meteorite. Number 3, 10K gold diamond grills. Number 2, bionic knee. And number 1, robot.
Don't bring your gold on the
Wow.
airplane.
How about that? Most valuable finds this year. The most valuable find, estimated U.S. retail $43,400. White diamond earring.
Wow.
Jeez.
$43,000. Most common finds: 210,000 shirts, 128,000 pence, 57,000 items of jewelry, 51,000 mobile phones.
Wow.
51,000 cell phones.
How do you lose your phone on the airplane?
I'm not sure. 41,000 device accessories, which surprises me that that's not more. 40,000 headphones, 37,000 coats and jackets, 34,000 tablets, 34,000 books, 48,000 shoes. And then the most interesting sports find.
Yeah, let's go. This is a great website.
Number 1, undefeated world champion Terrence Crawford signed boxing gloves.
Wow.
Oh, no.
It's possible that these were left in Omaha.
I want to buy these. Is this up for auction?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. Saquon Barkley signed Eagles jersey. A Hayden Hurst signed Ravens jersey.
He just retired.
Amazing. 2012 MGM Grand Poker Tournament champion token.
That'd be cool.
Interesting. Atlanta Hawks practice jerseys potentially left by the Atlanta Hawks. Weird finds: taxidermy deer form, frog purse. Interesting. Finds from around the world. Fashion
Frog
finds.
purse? A purse made out of frog?
That's right. Or a purse that looks like a frog,
Okay.
I think. Fashion finds. Number 1, Miss North Dakota USA 2025 state costume by Ryan Castillo,
Wow.
inspired by the Aurora Borealis.
She just didn't want her costume anymore.
Or just didn't care about it after the thing was over. There's a lot more information on here, which is fantastic.
I've never considered the idea that people just choose the airport as a place for them to just dump stuff.
Well, you ever seen the movie The Terminal? One of my favorite movies of all time.
I actually haven't.
So
when you've talked about this, I'm like, I probably need to see this movie.
In there, there's like it follows a collection of people, whether it's a janitor and a food service guy, and they're kind of all friends in there, and they play these like back alley poker games occasionally, and they play for stuff that people left behind. It painted a picture there. I would imagine a similar story is in the case in most airports around the country.
That sounds like a great movie scene, to be honest.
It is a great movie.
I will check this out. I will not pull a Matt McMaster. I will make sure that I watch it.
It's a Connor Happer classic.
Is it stream? Maybe I'll watch it. There's too much basketball tonight. I can't watch it tonight.
Eventually.
Just give it another couple weeks.
Eventually watch The Terminal. Watch The Terminal. All right. Those are the headlines. We'll be back 8 o'clock hours after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. 8 o'clock hour of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Colbert with you. We have a variety of different online contests going on right now at 1620thezone.com, so feel free to go check them out. Contests to win your way into concerts like Young the Giant or the Black Keys or George Thorogood and the Destroyers or Joe Coy or Journey. Any of those on our website at 1620thezone.com. And we are also still taking nominations for the Omaha food fight. So please go get those in by Thursday, I believe, before Thursday night. So please get them in. Your favorite restaurants in town, the Omaha food fight presented by Union Bank and Trust. And then we'll put out a bracket, and then you can bracket your favorite food, your favorite restaurant all the way to the championship. Folks, we love brackets around this time of the year. Do we want to do a Happer and Schaefer bracket of any kind? Michael's doing brackets right now.
I was thinking of an idea. Since I'm going to be done with working the Creighton men's basketball games, I want to look through the catalog of random John Bishop rants or drops and just compile a bracket of them.
The Bishop bracket?
I like the Bishop bracket.
Just any of the things he said on air?
Yes, on the air.
Would that include his radio show or just from
the Creighton games?
Okay.
I'm narrowing it down to the Creighton games.
Creighton basketball games?
Just anytime he went on a rant like the Evan Burrows.
What about Creighton baseball games?
I mean, I haven't encountered any of that.
We don't have the one from last year where he was yelling at Billy O'Connor to get back in the dugout. Back in the dugout, Billy. We don't have that?
I don't remember.
Oh, we got that somewhere.
I just want the Providence Big East tournament game where both teams were bricking free throws at an alarming rate, and he just drops the God help us all if this comes down to free throws. And the way he said it was so fantastic and such a John Bishop call.
How long ago was that? Because I don't think I worked that game.
Providence in the Big East tournament?
I can look that up. I'm 99% sure it's 2018 because it was a year Tim Miles got fired. Okay. No, 2019.
Okay.
I'll have to do some heavy research.
So, did you know that, by the way, did you know that Creighton and Seton Hall have only played each other once in the Big East tournament?
You've said this. And I don't know what to do with that information because I don't know if that's that surprising.
It's shocking. It has to be shocking. There's only 11 teams in the Big East, and they've been in the league together for 15 years now.
Has Seton Hall and Creighton, would they routinely have a reason to match up?
Well, I mean, they've been all over the place in the standings. You would have thought at one time Creighton's been to the finals 5 times.
Well, some of it though is Creighton skips a game every year because they always have a bye for the most part, right?
That's true.
So they have one less opportunity to play.
They got to play 2, but Seton Hall is not always bad. I mean,
they've certainly under Willard they had good years.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just surprising to me. I saw that Rob put that in his notes. I'm like, really?
Has the Blue Jays played everybody in the conference in the Big East tournament? Because that's what I was thinking, and I was going to make a list and see how many times they played each opponent through the years.
Well, I'm sure Rob's got that. And I would think so. I mean, I could go through the Rolodex in my head right now. I just don't know that it would be all that entertaining for people to listen to. But yes, right? They played Villanova, they played St. John's, they played UConn, they played DePaul, they played Providence, they played Seton Hall, they have played what other teams am I missing? Have they played Marquette? I'm not sure if they played Marquette.
I think they played Marquette a few years ago.
They played Marquette. They played Xavier? Yes.
Yeah.
Have they played Butler? Yes, I believe so. Have they? And then the last team that I haven't said yet is I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'll look into this.
Okay, look into this. It's probably in Rob's notes, to be dead honest with you. Now Schaefer is sidetracked by looking at the 2019 Big East tournament. We're off the rails.
I thought it was Providence, but it might have been Xavier. But for some reason, I had Providence in my head whenever I thought about this.
Either way, the Bishop bracket.
I'll look into it.
We're doing the Bishop bracket, apparently. What about what else should we do? YouTube commenter Theo says, need a worst severe take bracket. Listeners will eat it up.
We should come up with a rebuttal to all of Severe's brackets with a bracket about Michael. That'd be a really good idea.
The Michael bracket?
The Michael bracket. Now, I don't know what you would do. I don't know what you would do with it. You would have to do Michael takes or things that Michael's done or something like that.
And I don't know how
places where Michael's worked. There might be enough.
The city of Papillion going to the finals.
The bottom line. I think the
line?
bottom line versus the city of Papillion in the finals.
I've told you about this before, but I had suggested that you guys like that you could have all of you could have a region of your own takes, and then when you get to this point, a year from now or whatever, the Connors takes bracket or Connors takes region. I guess you could do it by show potentially too, and let people vote on stuff.
Here's the thing: I don't have that many takes.
I don't know that
I'm not like a take guy.
You have takes.
I just say most of them are about food.
Sure. Well, the ones where you're going to draw the most sort of like response are generally about food.
I know, because I have very normal sports takes. Many people are saying. Everyone says that about me. They come up to me and they say, "Connor, you have the most normal sports takes, but your food takes are ridiculous."
Has ever come up to you and said that
they say it all the time.
Like, use the phrase "your sports takes are normal."
Your sports takes are normal
because that in itself is a very abnormal thing to say to someone.
Now think about my surroundings. The people around me sports takes are absurd sometimes. Matt McMaster, Josh Peterson. What are they ever talking about? I don't know. My sports takes are normal.
I like
Cowboys fans, Bears fans.
It's like hard for me to imagine just the
idea. No, they don't say that to me, Schaefer. Yeah. Of course they don't.
Just the idea of someone saying that someone else's sports takes are normal.
Nobody tracks it like that. They just listen to the radio one time and they say, I heard you say this on the radio one day. I go, I don't remember that.
Usually it's like the one thing that you've said that sticks with somebody that you have no idea of which you've ever said it.
100%.
And then there's the reverse of that where it's people are convinced that you've said something, but it's not you, it was someone else, but they're convinced that it was you and you have no way of other than going through the audio and being like, it was this guy.
I've dug myself into that hole before. Yeah. It's not fun.
It is annoying because it's often something that you would never say and is usually horribly wrong.
Yeah, it's a good point. Most of my sports takes are actually like things that people thought I said and then extrapolated to a different level on the internet, and now I'm known for it, but I actually didn't say that. But that's the way that life goes. Today, in the Big Ten Conference, there will be awards that will be announced at 11 Central Time on the BTN. So you'll have to stop watching the Barstool show with the freaks on the Barstool, and you'll have to go over to the BTN at 11 o'clock, and they will announce their conference award winners. All Big Ten team selections, all defensive team selections, all freshman team selections, player of the year, defensive player of the year, freshman of the year, sixth man of the year, coach of the year, and assistant coach of the year will be announced today. Mike Schaefer, I need because I know, and the reason why we're doing this is this. Because however it goes, there will be a adverse reaction, I believe, from Nebraska fans. They will not get what they want out of this experience, I don't believe. Mostly because, and by the way, just if you're looking for somebody to blame the conference for being so gigantic. Super mega conferences are dumb. There's 18 teams in the stupid league, and everybody feels like they have to honor everybody, which you really don't, but that's how it goes. And so if somebody gets left off a team in favor of a guy who plays for Penn State or Oregon, then sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. You don't have the people who announce these awards to be mad at. You have the conference itself. But anyway, people aren't going to be happy about this when it gets announced, or will they? What are your predictions for where Nebraska players land on the all-conference teams?
So as far as the media vote of it,
I'm just saying, like, you don't have to split it, coach, media, like whatever.
Well, so I've been doing that because I think the coaches will put Sam Hoiberg on the first team. I've been saying that.
Yeah, I don't.
And maybe they don't. I could see that happening. Like, I would not be shocked by that. I don't think Sanford's going to end up as a first team.
I do.
All Big Ten player.
I do. I think Price Sanford is first team All Big Ten.
They
today.
just take 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
5, 5, and 5.
Yep. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. I don't think Mast is making any of the teams.
I thought there was a chance that he could be like a third team, but then I thought about it and I was like, actually, he's not going to be. So I might delete that prediction.
So where do you think Sam makes a third team?
I think Sam is all defense team.
Okay.
I think Sam is not on the all conference teams.
It'd be kind of ridiculous to not put him on there. Like, from what he does from a whole game standpoint with the
those guys just don't get all conference. Like,
Yeah.
it's not great practice.
No, but
like, I wish they would.
That's where I'm saying where the coaches, like, I think the coaches are going to recognize that in a way that, isn't going to be recognized by media members. But
maybe.
So those two are the only two that I think have a chance of appearing on an all conference team. Honorable. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of guys will get honorable mention.
They don't do honorable mention the same way that football does, where they just like put 6 more guys a team on there.
Is it volleyball where they don't even they have way more than the amount of
correct,
which drives me nuts.
Volleyball has
that's
like
why
14
I asked the
people
question
on the
about
first
basketball because I want the standard starting lineup is what I want. I don't want a deviation.
They don't. It's not exactly position.
Yeah, I don't
dependent.
care about position. Just give me 5.
I believe it's just 5.
Yeah,
but 3 teams.
Yep.
So 15 guys are going to get honored by the conference today. In my opinion, I think they're going to in my opinion, I think this should happen, but I also think it will happen. I think Price Sanford is going to be first team All Big Ten today. If he's not, he's at the very least going to be second team.
Yeah, I think he'll be second team. I don't think he'll be first. The conference has a lot of great players.
It does.
That's some of it is I don't think there's any reason to be upset if any Nebraska player isn't recognized as first team.
Oh, that's where you're wrong.
This conference is deep. There's just good players throughout.
There's 18 teams.
Well, there's 18 teams, but even if you condense it, there's just good players on a specific few teams.
Yeah, but if there was 12 teams in the conference, it would be.
We'll put it like this. If Bennett Sturts makes the first team over Sanford, would that be a disservice?
No.
I don't think it would be.
No.
Wagler makes it over Sanford, I don't think that's a disservice.
No.
I
just think they will want or the voting I'm sure is in. I think they will want to recognize Nebraska's season with a first team all conference player.
Okay.
And Price Sanford is the nominee.
Yeah. I that's entirely possible. I think the recognition of it will end up just being Hoiberg.
I think you'll look back what I always do is I look back year by year at these all conference teams and you could see if the guy is on the first team from from a non-Michigan State, Michigan, Purdue or whatever, or in any other conference, same thing outside of the power 2 or 3 teams. You're like, oh, it must have been a really good, DePaul year. It must have been a really good, Oregon State year or something like that.
Is Fears' extracurricular on-court activities going to be held against him?
It's a factor.
It has to be a factor.
It has to be.
Absolutely has to be a factor. He's good, but man, tough hang. Very tough hang.
Incredibly tough hang. Michigan State's a tough hang in general. They're a very, very, very Michigan State team.
They're playing Michigan, and I had that on at halftime for the Nebraska game, and I'm just watching it, and it's I don't understand this Michigan State team. I just don't get it. I don't. They're good, and Fears is good, but the rest of it just doesn't make sense. Izzo spends his entire time, every time out, screaming in the face of Cooper, who I can't think of his first name off the top of my head, but he invariably makes a defensive mistake every time right before the TV timeout, and Izzo is just in his face screaming at him.
Yeah, they have early exit written all over them, in my opinion.
I agree,
but we'll see. So, official predictions: all Big Ten teams. I'm going Price first team. Nobody else on any other team. The 1, 2, or 3. Defensive team. Sam Hoiberg's on there. He's not the defensive player of the year. All freshman team. I'm going to say no Braden Frager.
Yeah, that one's tough too because there's a lot of great freshmen in the Big Ten, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's not on it.
Player of the year is obviously not going to be a Husker. even though the stats don't necessarily reflect this, I still think it's going to be Lindenborg.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
is there anyone besides Lindenborg?
Probably not.
I mean,
but, like if
there's
you
guys like-
look at it from a statistical output, it's you wouldn't say that it's him. It could, like, you could probably make a case for Wagler.
Mhm.
Although recently it hasn't quite been as much. They could give it to Braden Smith as a lifetime achievement award, but he's sort of stunk as of late. So it's Lindenborg.
Yeah, it's Lindenborg.
And then the other awards they're giving out today. So Frager's obviously not the freshman of the year if I'm not going to put him on the all freshman team. Defensive player of the year, Ademara. Like,
Really?
yeah, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be. There's nobody that really stands out. It's why it felt like there could be a real chance for Hoiberg to win it because no one truly stands out. But I don't think he does enough either.
Sixth man of the year, not Frager. Coach of the year, I think, is Fred Hoiberg.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just to be clear, I'm in on Sanford and Hoiberg both being on all conference teams, though. I don't think Sanford will be first team.
Okay. And I thought of this last night because I just realized that they did it. Assistant coach of the year. I mean, Nate Lenzer has as good of a argument for that as anyone else. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, I don't know how that's determined.
I'm not sure how that's determined, and I certainly don't know any other assistant coach in the conference. And I don't know that anybody else does either. But I mean, Nate Lenzer has been pretty famous this year for being the architect of the defense.
Yeah.
So I would assume he has as good of a chance as any. Would they let Nebraska sweep the head coach and assistant coach of the year award? I'm not sure if they want to do it that way. Like, and that's not just a Nebraska thing. Like usually you kind of want to spread it out a little bit just for how it looks. But yeah, Nebraska will have a few of their players honored today. Nick from St. Louis, by the way, wrote in on an earlier conversation we were having. He says, "You have great takes. You are great. Their takes about cities." Oh, except Nick from St. Louis. We had bad takes about St. Louis, according to
we do.
According to Nick. And then let's see. Bucky writes in. He says Price first team, Sam second, Mass third, Jamarcus Frager honorable mention. See, without the complete knowledge of exactly how the honorable mention thing work, I didn't. I did not.
I think if there's an honorable mention, it's Lawrence and it's Mass. I don't think Frager will get one.
Sith Destroyer writes in, cackling that Connor said his sports takes are normal right before this segment. Well, what have I been unnormal about in this segment? Saying the Nebraska players are going to be honored by the conference today for their second place finish in the league. I don't feel like that's abnormal. Is it?
No.
You're being silent right now, and it's scaring me.
No, I don't think it's abnormal.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think it's abnormal.
Thank you.
I'm caught in my trying to think if Hans Steinbach should be a first team All Big Ten. I think yes.
Interesting.
He's so good.
He's definitely all. I mean, you can just put him all freshman.
He's definitely going to be all freshman.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that paints the accurate picture of like how good he is. He is really, really, really good to be averaging a double-double in college.
You love yourself some Steinbach.
I really do.
You're Steinbach.
Part of this sicko disease is Washington plays late, and so I end up watching them more than anyone needs to watch Washington basketball. There's a moment where I was like, man, they win a game here, they're going to be like fringe bubble. Never got there.
No.
Never
count on Washington basketball. I don't know that I've ever said that before, but I believe it to be true.
Ever since Brandon Roy got hurt.
Yeah. Markel Fultz.
Yeah, that's the other one, huh? There's got to be another
Washington is in the Big Ten, which they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Damn big conferences.
Their coach for the longest time was what? Lorenzo Romar?
I believe that's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. Mitch Sherman from The Athletic is going to join us. We have football to talk about. We have basketball to talk about. So plenty on tap with Mitch. Coming up next on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. More of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Good. You find yourself very well versed in college. I saw your college. I just read your college baseball recap from the week. Yeah. Well, guys, I was interested in what you wrote about LSU, considering who they play this evening, which is the Creighton Blue Jays.
Creighton. Yes, Creighton's getting LSU at a good time. Maybe like the best time that you could have gotten LSU in, I don't know, a few decades. There's probably been a week or so like this, or maybe it's the worst time to get LSU. I don't know, but
I don't know.
The Tigers are perhaps very angry after losing 4 out of 5 games against, other than Louisiana, which is a good team, and LSU went to Lafayette to play Louisiana last week on Wednesday and lost that one. Other than that, it's been, Northeastern is good, as we've discussed, and that was one of the defeats last week. But then to lose a series against Sacramento State is totally outside the bounds of even what borders on normal for LSU baseball. So they've not been hitting the ball. Yeah, I took over the college baseball roundup work from Mitch Light, one of my coworkers, for the weekend. So that ate up some of my time, but it was fun to get my feet into that sport in early March.
They're going to LSU's lineup is going to face a freshman righty from Central City tonight. Jacob Rule is going to go for the Blue Jays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably like last Wednesday, they faced a freshman in Lafayette who is a 6'7". I can only assume this is the same for the Central City kid, a 6'7", 240-pound right-hander who threw the last 4 innings scoreless ball against the Tigers. And interestingly, that pitcher was from Baton Rouge, so he went to play for the in-state. I don't know if I would say rival, but the in-state program. Yeah, you can say rival.
Sure.
The Raging Cajuns, and then shoved it against his, probably, I would imagine, team that he grew up watching. So that's fun stuff.
Mitch, this is probably a galaxy brain question, so feel free to mock it if necessary.
Let's go.
But is it good for Nebraska football that Nebraska basketball has taken up so much space this spring that, there hasn't been near the amount of coverage of Nebraska football? Not that it doesn't exist, because the guys that are out there doing it daily are still providing it daily. But I don't think it's getting the same level of discussion in what is a very interesting spring with all the changes, because Nebraska basketball has just taken up all of this other space. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I've heard this question quite a bit over the last 3 weeks. I think it's something to chew on for sure. I think it's probably good. I think it probably plays into the strategy of it's like right up the alley for what Matt Rule would have designed. Like if he could have said in January, man, I hope this, for various reasons, I'm sure he's happy to see this run continue for Fred Hoiberg and Nebraska basketball, because it is taking some of the spotlight away from football, and there's generally a big spotlight on Nebraska football here. If you fast forward in any calendar year to March 10th, like that's mainly what people are talking about, and clearly that's not the case this year. And I think that's kind of what they were after. That's why you're not seeing a ton of media opportunities. The head coach is a little measured in his approach when he does come out in front of the media. We'll hear from him tomorrow. Today is the first one of these viewing periods. Didn't know if we'd even get one of these in the spring, but they're going to do it tonight. I'm going to be incidentally at a high school spring sports pep rally, so I'm going to have to rely on the observations of my media colleagues to tell me what the heck is going on at Nebraska's open practice, or 25 minutes of open practice tonight. But yeah, I do. I think, Mike, it helps for sure. Probably doesn't make that big of a difference, like in the end, when you get to the summer or fall, but it's nice right now for them to have a little bit of the pressure and spotlight off of them.
On the other hand, we were sort of talking about this earlier, and we stumbled upon a comp to football, or it just kind of came up organically. We were talking about how Fred Hoiberg, kind of shifted gears and was able to find success with Nebraska basketball. and we came to the conclusion, like the line of you worry about the basketball first, and then naturally football came up after that, which we at times don't feel like the football is always at the center or the main thing for Nebraska football. So you could look at basketball and say, oh, that's how you do it, which could in turn place more pressure, I guess, on Nebraska football.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, that conversation exists too. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like if basketball does well, then it's going to take some attention away from football when a lot of the conversations about football are negative, but it's also going to shine a light on the fact that seemingly every sport that is in a highly visible place at Nebraska is having more success than football right now. Sure. And that's kind of a tough pill to swallow. I mean, look, we're looking through this lens of how the season ended and how really just about everything went south in November and through the bowl game for Nebraska football. But I mean, you kind of like look through the clouds a little bit, and I'm not going to say like this should be the overwhelming talking point, but Matt Rule has taken Nebraska to back-to-back bowl games after the football program failed to go to a single one for eight years. So like there, I think it's we're overly focusing on some of the things that were rough at the end. And there's some reasons that it looked that way that were somewhat outside of the control. I mean, everything's under the control of the staff, if you want to like interpret it in a certain way, like, hey, you should have recruited better player or whatever. But I don't know. Like this is a period of time, I think, where it's really just kind of difficult to get outside of the moment. And we probably won't until Nebraska plays football again in September. And then, the conversation will inevitably change either to they fix this thing and it all looks really good, or, it'll go the other way.
Since I'm just asking strange questions, this one feels strange to ask, but what's your actual level of interest in the Big Ten basketball tournament, given that it's just kind of the appetizer to the entree that is the NCAA?
Well, we'll see. If it ends up being Purdue that Nebraska plays, I think that's intriguing because, that was an interesting game in Lincoln, overtime game and a lot of drama in that game. Nebraska played very well in the second half to come back. So I think the matchup is something I'd be interested to see. And from an individual player perspective, I'm interested in some stuff. I want to see how Braden Frager rebounds after having a tough day on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, the overall basketball part of it, not too interested. I don't think that it really affects Nebraska's seed next week. And I don't think it would be, I mean, on one hand, you would love to make it to Saturday and play for a Big Ten championship. On the other hand, playing 3 games in 3 days, less than a week before the biggest games potentially in games in school history is not ideal. And Nebraska has done everything that it needed to do in the regular season to secure itself a good spot in the dance. So if you bow out after one game, then, in one game, that's fine. It's not going to really paint a different picture than what I have of this team already. Maybe the ideal situation is to get a win and then get out of there. But I'm sure the players and coaches would say otherwise. They're like, I'm sure they, fully desire to bring home the trophy, and that's understandable.
Mitch, you were in the building on Sunday. I mean, I think obviously Nebraska winning in overtime against their rival. I mean, on the last day of the regular season, on those guys' senior day, obviously it builds to it paints a pretty important picture for Nebraska basketball in a tense one. What was that like in that building on Sunday when you compare it to some of the other experiences you've had at PBA?
Yeah, maybe we can stop glamorizing No Sit Sunday as the greatest basketball experience in the history of basketball.
Careful. Careful.
It was pretty good though, Mitch.
Careful.
It was good. I was there at that too. And yesterday was the anniversary. Like we said, do we raise the flag to a higher level, or what do we do on the anniversary every year No Sit Sundays. They're just social media posts that today is the 12-year anniversary. Today is the
Basically.
11-year anniversary.
It's like the
I don't know,
2014 American League wildcard game. Every single year, I will honor it. It's great.
Yeah, for sure. That is fully understandable. I disagreed with John Bishop yesterday in our conversation on your afternoon show about, because he was suggesting, well, clearly this doesn't surpass No Sit Sunday, because No Sit Sunday is up here and nothing else could ever attain that. And I get that game against Wisconsin put Nebraska into the NCAA tournament, and there was no such thing that happened this Sunday against Iowa. But I will say that I thought it was the biggest game ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena. This one, not because of the ramifications for this season with Nebraska, but because of everything else that was at stake. And I thought it was bigger than basketball. That it was athletic department wide. And I thought it for basketball, I thought it was bigger than just this season, because you tied a school record for victories in a single season. But really, just like the Iowa factor and all that went into that and what it means. I use this example, and I wrote this in my write up on the game too, or on the event. It was more an event than a game. If Nebraska had lost that game and then gone on to win next week, say win a game or two in the NCAA tournament, and then the dust settled and they came home and whatever, you're honoring that team, all of the things that are going to come with Nebraska winning an NCAA tournament basketball game, the round of drinks, everything. There's always going to be that. There would always have been that little carrot out there, and the Iowa fan sitting over in the corner, and that we know them. They're everywhere. They're your neighbor. They're you see them at the grocery store. Well, even your best team, Nebraska, your best team unequivocally ever got swept by Iowa in a year where Iowa had a first-year coach and one returning player from the team last year. Like, that would be painful, I think, for Nebraska, in a way that would not mar the NCAA tournament victory, but it would make it a little less sweet. And now Nebraska doesn't have to deal with that. So to me, Sunday was in part about that, and also about a lot of other things that exist between Nebraska and Iowa now 15 years into their togetherness as Big Ten neighbors.
All right, Mitch, we will let you go. Always appreciate you joining, and we'll talk to you in a week.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. He's got some college baseball stuff. He's filling in on a college baseball beat this week, and of course, a bunch of Husker stuff as well. I'm sort of like the case is interesting. I just don't know ultimately how, so let's say Nebraska goes to the Sweet 16. Yes, Iowa fans are definitely going to be in their people's mentions being like, hey, yeah, that's great. You didn't beat Iowa. I'm saying in a world where Iowa won. Mm-hmm. They'll be like, hey, yeah, you couldn't beat us. But like, you went to the Sweet 16. Like, who cares? I think ultimately, like, Nebraska beat Creighton the year that Creighton went to the Elite Eight. It was like, who cares?
Right.
It doesn't matter. We went to the Elite Eight.
Right.
Go ahead. You beat me all you want if we go to the Elite Eight every year.
No, I get it. I get it. So part of it for me with the No Sit Sunday thing is it was organic. Like, it wasn't like, it wasn't the athletic department told you to wear white 4 days before the game sort of thing.
No, I was thinking about this last night. What if the Big Ten, like they protect games in football? What if the Big Ten protected Nebraska, Iowa for Sunday, the last Sunday of the regular season?
They've played it 4 or 5 times now.
They should just do it every year.
They've been in the Big Ten for 16.
Yeah.
That is
It is
15
crazy.
season, however many it is.
Whether they play it once or twice, if they play it once, it should be the last Sunday of the regular season. If they play it twice, one of them should be on the last Sunday of the regular season.
It's crazy because I have like a weird amount of memories of this game. Whether it's been in Iowa City, Jamarcus Lawrence went off for 15 in a huge win that prevented, a losing season for Hoiberg in that 22-23 year. And then you have Johnny Trueblood blocking Jordan Bohannon at the end of just the disastrous finish to the 2019
Don't worry, I bet
season.
that Jordan Bohannon guy is going to show up on That Dude Rocked soon, probably.
You have last year, which Iowa effectively ended Nebraska's season and they didn't go to the Big Ten tournament. They got blown out by a bad Iowa team.
Yeah.
That had nothing to play for.
So that's option one. I protect Nebraska, Iowa for the last Sunday of the regular season.
I think they should play a home and home no matter what.
Or tell me if you like this option better. Protect Nebraska playing at home against anyone on the last Sunday of the regular season. That way they can kind of say, hey, no, this is our yearly tradition of quote unquote no sit Sunday, even though nothing will ever be like it. Like, I disagree with Mitch on that. Like, the no sit Sunday thing is, I don't think if it's an unreachable star, but that game on Sunday certainly did not reach it from my perspective. It was intense and big and all that stuff, but like didn't reach it. What if you just said we're playing on Sunday, the last game of the regular season, no matter what, at home, and this is, it's a whatever out. Maybe you make it a red out or a, I don't know, a purple out, whatever you're gonna do.
Purple out. Let's do a purple out.
Now, if you did
I like the idea of, I don't think the Big Ten would give them that. I like the idea of Nebraska always having a home game to finish the end of the regular season on that Sunday. But in the absence of that, I would certainly take Iowa being your final opponent before the end of the regular season.
Set it up. It's possible.
There's no reason like I said, though, if because of how many teams you have, if you can assure me that one of your double matchups is always Iowa, I think that benefits, both teams. Like, in terms of you always play your rival there and they always play here.
Sounds fun to me.
So
we could do more memes.
Basketball's never really discussed that. It just sort of always makes sure that Michigan State and Michigan play each other twice. Indiana and Purdue play each other twice. And then everybody else is just kind of like thrown in a pot.
Yeah, I'd say they should really think a little bit harder.
I'm betting
about
USC, this. UCLA are always going to, and Washington, Oregon are always going to play each other twice.
Think about it. I'd like the Big Ten to think maybe a little bit more about these things. And maybe that could lead somewhere.
You're asking a lot of Tony Petitti. He's spending a lot of time making that 24-team bracket.
You could do it, Tone. You could do it, Tone. I believe in you. All right. We will take a break. Oh, by the way, a comment from Kyle, who writes in on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. How far we have come from Iowa sure not being the rival to now being the biggest win in program history. Okay, nobody said that. Also, I always thought that Iowa was a rival, so I don't know who Kyle's talking.
That was never a talking point for me.
We have a couple comments, and I want to run down some stuff that happened in the NFL yesterday as well as we round out the 8 o'clock hour on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. But first, I almost missed it there one more time. We have Supernovas tickets to give away for this Saturday at 7 o'clock at the Chai. If you would like to win Omaha Supernovas tickets, be caller number 3 right now, 402-951-1620, 402-951-1620. Just be caller number 3, and you will win 2 tickets into the Supernovas game against Indianapolis on Saturday nights. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, congratulations to Lori. She's going to the Supernovas game on Saturday. We got to do the thing where we like FM radio stations do, where we're like, tell us which station made you a winner, and then they say 1620 the zone. If you could record people doing that, Joey, that'd be great.
Yeah, I gotta find a way to do that.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you. You don't have to do that. I don't think that'd be kind of weird, actually, but it would be funny. So congratulations to
I got multiple things to record.
You do.
I'm like now imagining a new Joey graphic where it's like someone wins an Academy Award and it's just like, I'd like to think 1620 the
zone.
You remember that graphic where John had that broken wrist, and I think it was Stibbs that made it, or no, that was Peterson. Just put it on the Lombardi Trophy. This is for you, John.
This one's for John. This one's for John.
This one is for
And
John.
he still had his weird foam thing going at that point, which is very smelly and odd. Anyway, Jason writes in on No Sit Sunday. He says, No Sit Sunday benefits from being first. And Nebraska jumped all over Wisconsin, so the pregame hype built will just always be tough to match. I agree. I agree completely. I mean, once again, I always mention this as it, we talk about the powder keg of that day. Nebraska, on a three-pointer by Tram Petaway, got their 7th, 8th, and 9th points of the game, and Kent Pavelka called it a dagger. And he may have been right. He may have been right. He was like, dagger! It's 9 points. It was like 9-2 or something like that, or 9-4. And he was yelling dagger, which I thought was appropriate for the time. It was one of those days where Nebraska just kind of wasn't losing. And that felt like kind of the game from a different perspective on Sunday, but
and then they just couldn't get defensive stops.
Yeah, and they nearly did.
You're tied. Yeah. No, the other thing with No Sit Sunday, you had Mike Peltz getting engaged on his senior night, which I have no idea if he's still married, but I hope that they're now a decade into it, because that would be a wonderful story to be able to have. It was the first year of Pinnacle Bank Arena, which I think matters. Nebraska had only lost one game all year at home, and it was a 2-point or 1-point game against Michigan, in which Taran Petaway couldn't hit the layup, and Leslie Smith missed the point blank.
I was there.
Follow up.
I remember.
And so, like, the building kind of had this magic to it at that point in time. The rail yard was relatively new, and it was an unseasonably warm March day in which everyone you ever knew was out in the rail yard getting drinks. And there was actual restaurants and businesses in the rail yard, not banks.
They hadn't realized that their
tech companies.
They hadn't realized that their rent was too high yet.
Yeah, no, they were hoping that No Sit Sunday was going to allow them to pay for March. So, there's just things that went into it. And then that Wisconsin team, significantly better than this Iowa one. Like, there's not a real
100%.
Close comparison to a team that had Sam Decker, Frank Kaminsky, all of those guys.
Yeah, team went to the Final Four, I believe.
Right. So, I think they lost to Duke in the championship.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
all right.
Much bigger stakes.
NFL free agents yesterday. We talked about Max Crosby, who got dealt to the Ravens, for 2 first-round picks. So we could talk about guys who have been traded for 2 first-round picks a little bit. Whenever, but a lot of moves happened yesterday. Most of local note, Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, he of Woodshed fame, Michigan State, is off to the Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't see much reaction from Kansas City yesterday. I didn't dive into those waters much. I would imagine they're over the moon happy about this, right? Well, they answered their questions at running back.
I think, they have
to pay a significant price for it because he just won Super Bowl MVP. But
they were fine with Pacheco until he had that horrible leg injury, and he's never been the same since then. Kareem Hunt's been a perfectly fine short yardage running back, but you haven't been able to do a lot with it. When Mahomes is your leading rusher in a lot of games,
not good,
not where you want to be. And so this gives them something else. And then do they try to kind of build around this in the weeks of which you may not have Patrick Mahomes at the beginning of the season?
No, I think
is there an element of you go get a Kenneth Walker? Because the one thing about Kenneth Walker is he spent so much time sharing the spotlight with Charbonnet.
So stupid.
Even though I think it was clear he's the better running back.
It was very clear, Mike. Very
Like-
clear. And then they would just give it to Charbonnet on the goal line and
Like,
steal fantasy points away from me.
You would get inside the 20, and then it's like Kenneth Walker goes out.
Yep.
And here comes Charbonnet.
Here comes Charbonnet to vulture touchdowns.
Yeah. I like fantasy aside, I just thought it was odd because I just Kenneth Walker's really good.
Yeah. Now, there is a question with a guy with that much volume, that much, he's got a lot of miles on him at this point. Like, is it worth it to give him X amount of money over 3 years? He's probably
running back contracts
yeah.
famously are not.
Does he make it to the end of the deal? Like, I don't know, but at least it's an answer to one of your big questions.
Yeah.
Like you have someone there. Mike Evans.
This is a wild one.
Mike Evans not in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniform.
Yeah, he's going to be a San Francisco 49er. He's going to go join Raising Cane's Purdy.
Yep.
And I don't know what he would be in this equation. I mean, so you've got Christian McCaffrey, who, I don't know, let's call him the bread, I guess, if you would, for the Raising Cane's thing.
What's Purdy? Is he the chicken?
Purdy's the chicken.
Who's the sauce?
The sauce is probably now, I don't know.
Would that be
think-
Fred Warner, Nick
I think
Bosa?
McCaffrey's the sauce. He
Or
goes
we're
over.
talking off.
He
I'm
goes
good with
over
that.
everything.
McCaffrey's a sauce. Kittle
Yeah.
can be the bread. One
Even
of
though
the,
he's tore his
one of the
Achilles.
underperforming wide receivers can be the coleslaw.
Yep.
Is Ayuk-
Brandon Ayuk can be the French fries.
Brandon Ayuk is like, where is he?
Yeah.
Is he okay? I'm not sure what he's doing.
I don't. That was a
Yeah,
weird.
you got Ayuk, you got Juwan Jennings,
Yep.
Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Kyle
if you have
Juszczyk.
Ayuk. Yeah, Mr. Juszczyk. He seems like
He's
a
the
bread
coleslaw.
guy.
He's the coleslaw.
So that's different.
See the container.
The Dolphins released Tua yesterday, and apparently the Falcons are looking at him, and the Dolphins went out and got probably end up being one of the more prized quarterbacks, I guess, in this run, and Malik Willis.
Yeah, that's
Real excited about Malik Willis.
a wild sentence to say, and it even wilder. You have the Falcons who are going to have paid Kirk Cousins $150 million, drafted Michael Pence, and then now will have signed Tua and still have Michael Pence.
Penix.
Or Penix, yeah. Pence. Oh, geez.
Pence and Pelts,
A lot of
It
Michael
all comes
P's
up.
on this
By the
show.
way, Mike wrote in on YouTube. He says, according to his Instagram, Mike Peltz is married.
There we
So,
go.
yeah, hopefully that's still the same marriage.
Yeah.
I would think it is.
Rooting for it.
And then our old friend Wandale Robinson is going to reunite with Dayballs.
72 million.
Yeah, 10 a seat site.
Good for Wandale, who benefited greatly when Malik Neighbors went out and became the only target in the New York Giants offense.
He was awesome last
He
year.
was really good at the end
Yeah.
of last year.
Yeah.
No question.
So that's what's going on in the world. There was a lot of other stuff that happened too. Micah Fitzpatrick went to the Jets, so maybe he could get more than one interception for them this year. You never know.
Joey's team lost a linebacker. That was pretty good.
Yeah. What'd you do, Joey?
Quay Walker, his contract was expiring, so he let him off. He was going to be asking for a big deal. And then Rashawn Gary, I mentioned yesterday, his production was lackluster after the Micah Parsons injury. He did not record a sack at all after recording 7 in the first half of the season. So the Cowboys decided to pick him up, and then we got that 4th round draft pick for 2027, which I'll gladly take.
But the biggest news out of yesterday, according to TMZ, was that Travis Kelce is back.
Of course, he's
For another year, and that Donna
Of
Kelsey
course.
was getting a home remodel.
Oh, that's great.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, on a Tuesday, Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer with you, Joey Colbert as well. On Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We'll be joined by Jacob Padilla in just a few minutes, talk some Creighton as they head off to Madison Square Garden. Have you heard the world's most famous arena? Coming up in just a couple days.
I've been there.
And maybe I'll get them to say, roll Jays, go baseball again, because they're going to need it tonight against angry LSU. Well, let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here's Nate. Hi, Nate. What's up?
Connor, I just appreciate the fact that after all of our years doing this, that you're willing to yell across the studio so that I can hear you reach out to me on the phone. It was a very DiCaprio Winslet moment. I appreciate that.
You're
man.
welcome. Joey was like, yeah, I think we'll try and get to you. I was like, no, don't worry, Nate. We're going to get to you. I promise.
I know, man. My guy. Look, so can we just be honest? Like, it is getting annoying how thirsty and desperate fans and media have become for Nebraska sports success, that moderately impressive wins in somewhat insignificant circumstances are becoming the greatest wins of all time. Like, dog, there were better wins against Anthony Peeler and Bryant Reeves and sit-down Billy Tubbs and Kevin Durant coming to PBA for Doc Sadler years. Like, stop it with this crap. Iowa is not a rival. Iowa is a bunch of insignificant people that did not even come into our life 10 years ago. And Bill Moose rightly tried to get us out of this stupid thing. Our basketball rival is Kansas. We hate Kansas. Our football rival is Colorado. We hate Colorado. Stop the crap with this fake Big Ten nonsense. Iowa doesn't matter. You know how many big NBA players we played against in bigger games and won? And we're talking about Iowa. We talking about Iowa?
We're talking about Iowa, man.
Like, come on, Alan. It's ridiculous. Like, these people that just graduated high school and only know PBA don't understand. Nebraska basketball was good for about a 7-year stretch, like really good every year, playing top 10 teams, splitting games with Kansas and Missouri and Oklahoma State. Like, it's sickening to hear this crap.
Nate,
I hate it.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Nate. Appreciate it. I mean, like, that is a very, I don't know, maybe Nate, if you think back in the old Big 12 days, you know, you're like, oh yeah, like there was a history before this. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The Iowa thing is very real. Like,
yeah, there's two different
very,
points to this call.
It was not as significant as some of the most significant games in Nebraska basketball history on Sunday. I don't think, but the Nebraska Iowa thing is very, very real. In my opinion.
That's not going anywhere. Like, that is very much here to stay. They are very much going to be the rival for Nebraska for however long the Big Ten exists.
Basically. I wish Nebraska was still in the Big 12. I wish their rival was Kansas and Colorado and stuff, but it's just kind of not anymore. You know, like, it's sad. It's sad that they've lost those long-standing relationships with those schools and the variety of different programs that they have to offer. But like, the Nebraska Iowa thing is the closest thing you got, and that's it. I'm certainly not claiming that it's you know, as tense as it was, or, you know, you could compare it to any of the old Big 12 rivals in whatever sport, or the old Big 8 rivals in whatever sport. But it's the closest thing you got right now. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I'm talking about every sport.
Yeah. I know this wasn't what we were going to discuss, but I don't really care about the Big 12 thing, like, at all. Like, I'm totally just moved on from it. Like, I know there's no part of me that's like, oh, I wish Nebraska was still in the Big 12. Like, the things that I wish is that Nebraska had a closer proximity to the teams of which they played.
So you do love the Big 12.
So that's like the only thing that I miss out of that. The only other piece would be, like,
I thought Nebraska was a culture fit, but more so in the Big 12.
I mean, I agree with that. I think some of it is that it's just been 15 years now. Like,
it's over. I mean, there's no going back at this point.
There's no part of me that can imagine a world where Nebraska would be better off had Bill Moose gotten what he wanted and they went back to the Big 12. One, it never would have happened. But even hypothetically, had it happened, Nebraska would be in such a horrible place.
Probably.
Financially, with everything that they're trying to do over there, and would probably be worse off sports-wise than where they are right now, too, with how they've done things. So I don't know. I don't have no part of me pines for the Big 12. No part of me looks at what the Big 12 is doing and thinks, oh man, what would have happened had it just worked out for Nebraska and Texas?
Well, that's the other thing. Like, I don't want to be in that Big 12. I don't want to be in that Big 12. I want to be in the old one.
The previous
I
one.
want to reset conferences to 2009 and roll.
Sure.
But,
you want the regionality of conferences.
Yeah. But
which I get.
I don't want to be in this Big 12. I don't want to be in Utah's Big 12. I don't want to be in UCF's Big 12.
That's the one I was waiting for.
Screw Big 12.
I don't want to be in West Virginia's Big 12.
I don't want to be in that Big 12. Screw that Big 12.
They don't even want to be in that Big 12.
No. Arizona's Big 12?
Yeah.
Is this your Big 12? I don't care about that Big 12.
I don't know. I just don't
But
have.
I also don't want to be in this Big 10. Oregon's Big 10. I don't want to be in that conference.
See, I don't have this like. I don't like the Big 10 because I find the conference to be annoying in the way it handles things. But I don't have any like real issue with the fact that they've added USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington. And I feel like this has just become almost a like line in the sand for you that has been crossed and there's no way back for it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
This is my old man. This is my old man yells at cloud.
Which
thing.
is kind of, I just wouldn't expect this from you.
I just think it's ruined. It's touched everything and ruined it all. Everything the light touches, son.
Here's like,
This
does it
is
make
your
it better or
kingdom.
worse if I just whisper it was already ruined?
Probably not much better.
But
Really
not much
doesn't-
worse.
Doesn't have an effect. That's the
No.
clear line in the sand for me, for sure, though.
Yeah, I
Mega
don't have.
conference realignment in general is
Sure.
is what started us down this horrible road that we're on, where nobody has any feelings toward anything anymore.
I think I'm just either dead enough inside about conference realignment.
yeah,
and
where's your
conference structure.
soul, Mike?
I don't think it exists.
Come on.
But I also don't like you kind of cloak yourself in the Big East with conference cheering a little bit.
I do.
Like you, for as much as we make fun of the SEC,
I'm not
or-
rooting for UConn or St. John's or
Yeah,
anything
it's
like
just
that.
kind of like affiliate with the Big East.
I definitely affiliate.
So
Those
like
are-
there's
those are my
that
guys.
element of it as well. So you're just sort of out entirely with the Big Ten. You've now gravitated towards the Big East.
Oh no, I've thought that. I mean, I've thought that for a long time about the Big Ten. Like I didn't want Nebraska to join the Big Ten. In 2011.
I mean, going back into that
Yeah.
moment, it was not like what I wanted, though.
Yeah.
I did recognize that where things were headed with Texas was never going
Of course.
to work for Nebraska.
So you
anyways.
make the best decision that you can for the moment with the information that you have, and I'm shocked still a decade and a half later at how little it feels like home. Now, what happened with Nebraska is they joined a conference that had a culture and that had an identity and that already existed. They were the one new team. What happened with Creighton is they joined a whole new conference.
Yeah, with a name that existed prior.
With a name that existed and a little bit of culture, and the fact that its basketball tournament was at Madison Square Garden and a few teams, and then 7 new ones in the Big East Conference. Like, so they got to carve out a home for themselves.
So the holdovers
because there's 6
were
other teams that got to carve out a hole for themselves.
Georgetown, Seton Hall, Providence,
Villanova.
Those were the holdovers.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Georgetown. What did you say? Georgetown, Seton Hall, Providence, and Nova?
Yeah.
But then that would make, if the Catholic 7 joined, well, anyway, I can't remember the because there would have only been 10 at the time because UConn wasn't involved in the situation yet. But I don't know. Whatever it was basically a whole new conference.
Yeah, maybe Providence wasn't in the original.
Who
Big East?
wasn't in the?
I know
So one of those
Georgetown
wasn't in the Big East.
I know Georgetown was, and I
kind of
know
just- maybe it ended up being the Catholic 6.
I'm pretty sure Villanova was.
Creighton, Marquette, Xavier, Butler, DePaul, thank you. And who is also in the mid? Who's the other Midwest team? Am I missing another Midwest team?
No, I think you've named the Midwest teams.
Okay, all right. Kenneth writes in. He says Creighton also fully fit into the rest of the identity of the Big East, though Lincoln has never really actually belonged to the Big Ten except for regionality. So hold on. Mike says Butler, Xavier, Creighton, and then the Catholic 7. Yeah, right. That was how it went. Anyway, it was mostly a whole new conference.
Yeah.
And and
Built around basketball and Catholicism.
Jesus and basketball.
And then UConn came.
And then UConn came and
We forgot about St. John's. That was a team that we weren't.
Who cares about St. John's? St. John's. So I don't think so. Like, I don't know. I understand that I'm a honk, but I also have the ability to understand when I'm being overly honkish.
Honk!
And I do have a.
Have I gone too far with the honking?
No, like I just have never. I've always
You have
felt
a
that
honk
way.
meter?
I've always felt that way about the Big Ten.
I've
always felt that way about Nebraska's relationship with the Big Ten, and it's just never felt right.
Yeah, I
don't know how we got in this conversation.
Oh
yeah, Nate's call about
Nate's call,
Iowa. Yeah.
Well, and like I said, I just don't have any sort of pangs and desire for what was in the Big 12 because it doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's gone. We
that's
gotta
a large part.
We got to get over it, but I can't.
Because there's this realm of where Nebraska stays and these other teams leave, and Nebraska is basically the Kansas State of the Big 12 or whatever you want to call it, the Kansas. But Kansas is going to be plucked for whatever the next time there's a round of realignment.
God, I hope there's no more rounds.
There's going to be more rounds, I think.
Can we contract?
I was going to joke that Petiti wants a 24-team playoff because he just wants a 24-team conference. 6 more for Tony.
The Big Ten playoff. Be so dumb. All right, let's take a break. Jacob Padilla, he has covered the Big East as long as Creighton has been in it. We'll get his thought on this and more when we return on 1620 The Zone. But first, a word from Underdog Fantasy, where fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. You can make picks and win money right now. In Nebraska, it is oh so easy. Just pick if your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, assists, steals, and more. Get those picks right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash, ladies and gentlemen. So take a look at any night ahead in the association or in basketball in general, and make sure you get those straight before we get to postseason time. And once again, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today. Use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go.
Jacob Padilla, Herd at Sports, your source for Creighton hoops and Packers banter. Jacob Padilla on Happer and Schaefer, 1620, The Zone.
All right, it's hoop time with our dear friend Jacob Dill from Herd at Sports. Joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Jacob, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing all right.
Did you recover from several consecutive days at you were just parked out at PBA, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really. Feeling a little sick. Sleep deprivation, but I'll power through and it'll be all right.
You need some R&R. What's a day of Jacob Dill R&R look like? You know, what do you do when you got some time?
Probably just go nowhere. Like I'm probably this next week, like Tuesday, I'm gonna do like nothing at all. I'm gonna talk to you guys and then probably have nothing the rest of the day. So,
do you want to take us off the schedule? Should we get a different guest?
We can black you out.
No, we'll be all right. I'll have plenty of time to catch up.
We'll get them going. All right. So how was it last weekend with the girls' state championship? And now as we look ahead to boys, I mean, we feel like we saw there another fair share of great state tournament moments this past weekend.
Yeah, definitely we had some great matchups. We had a lot of first-time champions. Had some individual great performances. Unfortunately, in the Class A tournament, you had an injury that kind of played a significant factor. But overall, the C1 championship between Milford and Malcolm, we saw Milford pull away, but just the talent on the floor was spectacular. Milford's gonna be there the next few years, most likely. With Shayla Rautenberg, just a sophomore, and Abby Crabtree and Ashley Miller to come back. So they're going to have a chance to reload and come back next year. Hallie Dolliver not getting to play in the state tournament a year ago because of the injury that cost her whole season. Seeing her come out and do what she did in the state tournament alongside her sister was pretty cool, and I think she's going to be a good player for Omaha here moving forward. Class B Bennington, like they're moving up to A next year, so that'll be interesting. But they bring almost everybody back, and Macy Reiner is definitely a player that fans are going to want to keep an eye on over the next few years. She already has an offer from Houston. Omaha offered, and easy to see why. Just all the different ways that she impacted the game throughout the state tournament run, rebounding, defense. She rained threes in the championship. It went 5 for 5 from three. It never made more than 3 threes in a game. She'd only made more than one in a game like 4 times, and came out in back-to-back threes to open the game, and just went 5 for 5. So yeah, she's another one. And then maybe in the D1 or D2 rather championship, we had a player play with a torn ACL and MCL. Yeah. Played 17 minutes. Lexi Urkowski for Dunny County Stratton. Like she tore up her knee and then told the coach, like, I'm you're not sitting me, I'm playing in the championship. And she didn't score, but like they got into foul trouble and they needed the minutes, and she got out there, got a couple assists, and again played 17 minutes on without functioning ligaments in her knee. So
crazy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened that week, but throughout the week. But all in all, I think it was a pretty great state championship.
So, looking at the bracket for the boys this week, Class A, what is the game first round matchup you are most excited about in this? Because I know you're pretty just excited about, I think, how the 8 teams ended up, anyways. But what matchup first round do you think has a chance to be the best game out of Class A?
Yeah, I think all 4 of these matches we could see going either way.
Which is kind of exciting when there's a lot of just open-endedness to all of it.
Yeah, I have no idea the kind of what I would project to these matchups to be semifinal, final. I think you probably make Westside the favorite just because of the the overwhelming size and length and athleticism that they have is just different from everybody else. But you got some really good basketball players and teams throughout the rest of the field too. Like Uzziah Sanders is probably the best senior high school player in the state right now for Lincoln Southwest. So they've got that plus his twin brother who is really good as well. I mean, Bellevue West, the season that they've had, their ability to go out and light it up from the perimeter with all those guards and some improvement from some of their other players to kind of balance the team. I think probably to answer your question, Bellevue West, Papillion Vista, that 2-7. That like Papillion Vista is not a normal 7 seed. They went to Lincoln North Star and knocked them out to earn their spot in the final. And North Star is a team that we thought all year long they were one of the favorites. Expected, like talking how great Lincoln basketball is this year, and that we'd have some state contenders coming out of Lincoln with Southwest and potentially North Star, and ended up North Star losing, and Lincoln High made it in their place. So we still got 2 Lincoln teams, but both these teams they played each other early in the season. Just a lot of guard, like a lot of firepower, perimeter firepower. With Sam Boudreau has been playing lights out over the second half of the season for Papio. And then you've got Bryce Vignes inside, big old offensive lineman who is really nimble for his size and kind of balances out that team with 4 guards around him. And then Bellevue West is similar. They play essentially 4 guards, and they've got kind of a track athlete, like 6'4" track athlete. Pierce Parker is kind of their big, even though he's not really a big, but he's really efficient finisher inside. So I'm really intrigued by that matchup, seeing how much both teams have grown since that early season. Bellevue West ended up taking that one by 6, I believe. So if I had to pick one, that's probably the one I'm looking forward to most in Class A. But like we said, all these matchups could go either way.
All right, on to the Big East tournament. Thursday, Creighton will open with Seton Hall, hilariously, which in this ridiculous season that has been so weird for Creighton, 2 of the weirdest games all year have come against Seton Hall. One where Creighton was up 16 in the second half and lost, and one where Creighton was down 10 with 3.5 to go and won. So, with that being said, what do you expect on Thursday afternoon?
I have no clue. You want to tell me what to expect?
No, I have no idea either. You're the analyst.
Well, yeah, this team, it's pretty crazy that things all season long, things have not gone Creighton's way outside of a few of those kind of crazy comebacks, but so much adversity, so much misfortune going against Creighton to put them in this situation. And then at the very end, everything goes right to get them that last bye with that crazy second half against Butler, and then all the following results that they need to fall into place. And so the reward for getting that bye is, you get the team that you've played closest the entire season and into St. John's side of the bracket. So that's fun. But yeah, you got to take care of the first one first. And it's kind of funny because Gregory talked about in the loss they actually handled some of the things better.
I agree.
Against that team, and then lost. And then in the second one, they actually didn't do as well in those areas, but found a way to win. So like this game is probably the one I'm like, I have no idea what to expect coming out of this game. Probably a close game, just based on history, I would say. Beyond that, I have no idea like the style, how it's going to play out, who's going to win. Just because it was so all over the place the first 2 games. I think McDermott talked about like obviously rebounding, taking care of the ball. That's going to be a key. But with the what I'm fascinated to see is like Nick Graves, like the way that he played against Butler.
Right.
Obviously getting out there, 13 assists, and he didn't shoot the ball well, but it doesn't really matter when he's doing what he did as a distributor. Like that unlocked everybody else. Obviously Josh Dix played really well, and but he had contributions from other guys. And again, the 13 assists, and that's career high. And he was playing with pace, getting in the paint. Wasn't like McDermott said, wasn't playing with the ball, just getting it and go. And now you got to go, and we'll see kind of how Seton Hall chooses to defend them. But Bud Clark is obviously a really good on-ball defender, and they're pretty physical throughout the lineup. So can Graves replicate that and be kind of the engine of the offense and to get other guys involved against Seton Hall's defense and the way they play. That's what this Creighton team needs. They need a distributor. They need guys putting everybody else in place to play to their strengths. And Graves has been kind of up and down throughout the season. We've seen a few games from him like that. He struggled to find it with consistency. But like if he can string a few games like that together, then they've got a chance here.
Well, at this point, I'm done kind of like squaring a half up with like the rest of the season. Like I know some people's reaction to that Butler second half was like, what the hell? Like where has this been? I think you maybe take it, you're probably best served to take it more as like can they kind of carry this momentum at this point? How can you square it up with what it could look like going forward? Like you said, Graves being the head of the snake there, distributing to everybody else in the second half. Is that transferable? Butler's as physical as anybody else in the conference. You're going to get that from Seton Hall, but just in different ways. Like, and I know that St. John's is on the side of the bracket here, but I don't know. Like, if you would have asked me on Wednesday night at the game after the game, and I'm like, gosh, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see him win more than one at this. Maybe not so much anymore, but you feel about as confident as you have all year potentially.
Yeah, and it's definitely good to get this performance on tape and under their belts going into this tournament, just to like, hey, this is what it can look like for us. Like if we can find a way to replicate this is what we can do. And we've seen a few performances like this throughout the season. Obviously, UConn is another one where everything clicked and you had a bunch of guys playing well. And they had the Xavier when they got up to the great start in the Big East, just everything going well. And so like this team is capable. Like it's they haven't been able to find it consistently this year. And that's why I would ultimately say no. Like if you had to, just based on how the season's gone, if you had to bet one way or the other, you bet against them stacking together multiple great performances.
Right.
That being said, like this team has been pretty random, and there's no reason that it can't come together and do it again. Because there's a reason they went out and recruited all these guys. They brought them in. Obviously, this team, the whole of it isn't what it was supposed to be because of the injuries and everything that's happened. But these are still some good basketball players that are capable of performances like they had against Butler. So it's tough to project them to do that, to play that way 2-3 straight games because they haven't done it all year. But I mean, winning back-to-back games is not something they have done since the calendar turned. So it'd go against history to project them to do so. But I wouldn't like it. It only comes down to, can these guys understand how it went right, and some of that shot making, whatever. But they didn't light. I mean, they hit 10 threes, but they only shot 36% against Butler. It was everything else to go with that they were able to pull away. So if the guys can understand how they did it and commit to doing the same things that led to success, then they'll have a good shot. It's just, again, something that's eluded them this season.
Jacob, given everything that's happened this year with Creighton, what is your appetite and or interest for a potential crown appearance if it were to go that way for Creighton?
Yeah, with the win, they slid back into that fourth spot in the Big East net ranking. So currently they are in the crown field. They're one spot ahead of Butler after the win, and Providence is right behind them as well. And so like how the Big East tournament plays out will certainly impact this and determine where the spots go for the fans that aren't aware. Unlike what Nebraska went through, there are only 8 teams in crown this year, and it's the top 2 spots in the net standings outside the tournament for the Big 10, Big 12, and Big East. And then you got 2 wild card spots, and I doubt the Big East is getting wild card spots. I guess I haven't looked at the other conference nets and to see kind of how that plays out, but just based on the strength of the conference this year, I guess it's probably just going to be 2 Big East teams. So you got to finish that spot if you want it. personally, I know a lot of fans aren't enthused for one. I think for the seniors and a guy like Josh Dix, that would be the only, like, if he wants to keep playing, then everything he's gone through, then please give them as many games as they can get. That's a guy that deserves to play as much basketball as he can. Obviously, this season didn't go the way that he expected when he got here, and when he committed here, and what he was hoping for. But yeah, he's kind of the one guy, the one reason, like, okay, let's give these guys some more games, see if they can figure it out, at least have a little bit more fun here to close out the season. There's not a ton because of, like, the guys that are missing and the uncertainty going into next year about who's going to be back, who are they going to add. Like, I don't necessarily see them being able to replicate like a Nebraska type of run to build some momentum for next year. Like, I don't know that that's going to be in the cards. So ultimately, that is kind of the one motivating factor for continuing the season, is for a guy like Josh Dix to get some more basketball under his belt.
All right, Jacob, any analysis on Creighton LSU baseball tonight?
No. Yeah, I got nothing for you.
Not even
hopefully
the classic line.
Yeah, well, hopefully the Creighton pitching staff can hold up. I know that's been an issue this season. But yeah, roll Jays, go baseball.
There we go. All right, Jacob. Thanks as always. Talk to you later.
All right, bye guys.
Jacob Adele from Herd at Sports. Roll Jays, go baseball. You need all the roll Jays, go baseball you could get against LSU, who lost to Sacramento State 2 out of 3 over the weekend. I think Creighton plays Sacramento State in a couple weeks.
Ooh, you gotta be careful.
It's a round robin.
So
it's pool play.
I was just gonna be like, oh, do you like round robin more than you like pool play?
I do like round robin more than pool play. Yes, I do. It's better. Pools are stupid. All right, we'll be back. Our bracket sim of the day.
Yes.
After this on 1620 The Zone. Once again, midweek baseball is back for the Creighton Blue Jays tonight as they take on the LSU Tigers. A fun trip ahead for Creighton as they're down. I believe they practiced last night at Alex Box Stadium, and then they will play this weekend at Tulane. So a full week in the state of Louisiana for the Blue Jays. So
That's a lot of gumbo.
that is a lot of gumbo, a lot of po' boys, things of that nature. Exciting stuff. All right, time for our bracket sim of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Nebraska has not been hot as of late. Yesterday, they were eliminated in the round of 32. Friday, they were eliminated in the round of 64. And not since last Tuesday have they made it beyond the round of 32 into the second weekend. So where might they be today? Here's what you need to know. In this most recent bracket sim, the 1 seeds are pretty. I don't even feel like we need to do this.
Florida's the fourth.
Are they
one.
the same?
Florida is the 4th one.
Yes,
with Duke, Michigan, and Zona.
Which quadrant is Nebraska in?
Top right.
All right.
Top right. Back to the top right. And back to a first-round matchup for 3rd seeded Nebraska against
Troy?
You got it. That
Wow.
is the
Troy, who is locked in.
They're locked in. The Sun
They're
Belt,
in.
the Sun
They
Belt
beat Georgia
champion.
Southern.
They are going to the NCAA tournament. Will they be a 14? We'll see.
So Troy's got to watch the Big Ten tournament then.
To get
That's all
some
they can
scouting.
do.
I mean, actually, it would behoove them to do so. I mean, chances are there is going to be at least 1 3 seed that comes out
Yep.
of the Big Ten. So,
Mine as well.
yeah, it would
Could
possibly
be Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska.
much more than that. So Nebraska, Troy in the first round, where Nebraska, I'm happy to report, safe. They have won their first NCAA tournament game of all time against the Troy Trojans.
Look at that.
Nice job. The bracket that they are against, the arm that they are against, the pod is between, not a playing game, 6-seeded BYU. Schaefer, say your line.
So this means they're playing on a Thursday.
11-seeded Texas.
Oh,
You're interested, I take it.
I am.
Okay. Who wins that game? It is not Texas.
Oh.
It's BYU, who is going to play Nebraska in the round of 32 for a rematch of the exhibition game in which Rinkmast was, quote, the number 1 pick in the draft, according to Kevin Young. And Nebraska wins it.
Look at that.
They advanced
Wow.
to the Sweet 16 for the first time since last Tuesday.
This is such a great day.
What a relief for you, Schaefer.
Yeah, needed this coming off of Friday's disappointment. Yesterday, losing to a double-digit seed. Now they're in the Sweet 16 where they would take on number 2.
Take a guess.
All right. So
It is not. It is a 2 seed. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So the 2 seed possibilities
In Oklahoma City.
in Oklahoma City, it's going to be Houston,
You got it.
but they wouldn't be playing
Obviously,
in Oklahoma
yeah,
City. They'll
they're-
be playing in Houston probably,
Ooh.
where they would be taking on Houston.
Houston and Houston.
Yeah, that's a lot of Houston.
Michigan is the 1 seed in this bracket for the
Oh,
record.
so then there's Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's even better.
Better for Nebraska.
Chicago, Nebraska, Chicago's hometown team.
Pretty much. I mean, as much as Northwestern would be. They will not beat Houston in this matchup.
That is correct.
And
According
they
to this
are
sim,
going home.
that is correct.
Well, you know what? They made it to the Sweet 16.
They did, and everybody's happy. You got to go to a Sweet 16 game
Yeah.
at the United Center.
I'm not excited about the United Center.
It's
But
a nice place.
It's the house that Jordan
the area
built.
around it, you don't hear anything good about it.
No, there's nothing around it.
It just kind of sits there.
There is.
Will Nebraska?
I have gone to a game at the United Center where I walked from what's their famous brewery, Goose Island.
Mhm.
I think they have a tap room right
Yeah.
close. Just zip on over there.
Okay. Will Nebraska practice at Michael Jordan's former house that has the basketball hoop?
Yes, they'll go back.
Or the gym in it with the
Yeah.
guy from Lincoln lives there.
Yeah, you got to go back.
So they've done this before. Now, will they do this for the Big Ten? I wonder.
You got to.
Look,
You got to go back.
they've done it once. You might as well
Take a
do it
picture of the
twice.
big gate. So Nebraska is out in the Sweet 16. where they lose to
Good
Houston.
job, good effort.
Where Houston loses to Michigan and Michigan goes to the Final Four. We have 3 1 seeds in the Final Four. In
Okay,
this
should I
bracket.
guess which one didn't make it?
Yes.
Duke.
Correct.
Duke is out.
Duke,
I love this.
Duke loses to Iowa State in the Elite Eight.
Whoa.
And my dream lives on of the Iowa State Cyclones
Look at that.
winning the national championship. But they also don't do that.
Because they lose to Florida.
They lose to Florida. And then it's Florida, Michigan in the worst national championship game ever. And Florida wins back-to-back national championships. Boo.
They've done that before.
That sucks. I know.
Nobody liked it then. We don't want it now.
We definitely do not want it now. Okay, narrative teams. This is a very chalky bracket, by the way.
They've been kind of chalky, except Nebraska, as you said the other day, is like the chaos agent.
Yeah.
Like wherever Nebraska's at, chaos has followed in that area.
Narratives. You hate UConn. UConn goes to the Elite Eight before they lose to Florida.
Where'd Illinois go?
Illinois. Oh, yeah, they're a good narrative team for me. Let me find. Ooh, I don't see them going very far. Where have they
We might
gone?
have to do like some sort of lunch bet as to who gets further.
Illinois versus UConn.
Yeah.
I'm
Even though I don't
I'm
know
down
that
for
I'm
that.
like that much further ahead on Illinois
What about Kansas?
than where you're at.
Hold on. We can't skip Illinois.
No, I was talking to Schaefer.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think that we're much different on Kansas. The potential to lose.
Still rooting for them to be left out.
Aha! Illinois is the 2 seed in the bottom right corner.
Do they lose in the first round?
They do not lose to Tennessee State, but they do lose in the second. They lose in the round of 32 to UCF, who beat Villanova in their first game.
Wow.
Which I could actually see.
UCF is solid.
Yeah, but Villanova's, they're a dead man walking at this point.
Yeah.
So UCF, by the way, goes all the way to the Elite Eight before losing to Arizona. And so your Sweet 16 teams are Duke, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Michigan State, Florida, Gonzaga, Tennessee, UConn, Michigan, Kansas, Nebraska, Houston, Arizona, St. John's, Alabama, and UCF.
Wow.
St. John's. Beaten Yale and Virginia.
I was going to say Virginia is a team that's not appearing here.
Nope, they are most certainly not. Interesting. There you go. That's our bracket sim of the day. Mike Schaefer feeling
I'll
a
take
lot
it.
better. A lot better.
Yeah. This is better than losing to Hawaii in the first round.
Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Hopefully it doesn't.
We have a few bracket sims left before the actual bracket comes out, and then we'll still sim the bracket more. I can't
More
wait.
simming.
I cannot wait. All right, that'll do it for us today. We appreciate you guys joining us. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. It's time for a crossover with Matt coming up next.